guys, welcome back to another episode of Derailed. This is episode 17 now, and we have a special guest today. I'm B, this is Kevin, and this is my co-host today,
Jameel.
Yeah, who we've seen a few times now. He's coming more often, and he complained just before this about not having his own soundbite. Okay, you're not part of this, Steve. So, you got. Yeah, so apparently that's his catchphrase. Which I don't know if Kevin, you watch our episodes. I don't know if you understand that joke. You haven't watched a single one.
I have. I actually have it on the side when I'm playing games.
Oh, do you actually?
It's good, like background noise.
I'm getting some of the wig hair in my face. Okay, so you're helping us with our views. That's good. Okay, good. Yeah, so we're going to interview Kevin at the end, but I'm just going to give him, or let him introduce himself and, like, advertise himself a little bit. So, go ahead.
Well, I'm Kevin. I'm a photographer / videographer. I mostly specialize in cosplay and music videos. So hopefully you guys enjoy my special guest, myself here.
I hope you enjoy me. And he has an Instagram. We'll link it down below, where he does really cool cosplay photos and cosplay music videos. And that's half the reason why we're in cosplay. Like when I knew he was coming on the show, I was like, okay, he does cosplay photos. I'm gonna wear my Nana costume. And if anyone doesn't know what Nana is, you should watch it. It's like the best anime ever, in my opinion.
Wait, we're wearing costumes?
We are, yes.
I just regularly dress like this.
This is just who you are.
Yeah.
You just, it's including the bandana too, right?
Of course. Like, gotta keep my hair back. How else do you keep your hair back?
Yeah, it has to be the Naruto one.
Of course. Yeah.
Actually, did you guys know he made this shirt? Like, himself. Yo, show it off. We think he should sell them.
Would you guys want a shirt like this? I'll show the back.
It's breathable. It's got a flap. Sorry, Kevin. It's got a little flap, so it's like breathable up there. Oh, you didn't see it? Okay, hold on. Let me just go around.
Oh, Doug.
Oh, me.
Oh, me. Oh, God.
That's it.
Okay, so it's actually breathable. It's got a little flap there so that you don't sweat in it, I'm guessing. My butt will still get sweaty as usual, so it doesn't help me.
Yeah. It helps a little.
But anyways, so apparently it's Sasuke inspired, and you're supposed to be Sasuke, and you're obviously Zenitsu. So yeah, that's half of. Well, you're wearing his shirt at least, and you have blonde hair.
Jameel.
But that's half the reason we cosplayed today. The other half is Anime North just happened. We didn't go. You went.
I went, yeah.
You went. How was it, actually?
It was hot.
It was hot.
It was a frying pan outside and a boiler inside.
They didn't have AC?
They did, but
So many bodies.
it was bad.
That sucks. So was it like the same as like every year before?
Yeah,
Or was there anything new?
It felt the same, but I spent it with a lot of people I actually liked. So it was actually a lot better than I expected. 100% better than I
You
expected.
mean you usually don't like who you go there with?
I never said that.
I feel like that's a big part of what makes a con like memorable is who you go with. And
I guess so. I've met a lot of cool people at cons, but then like when I stayed in touch with them for too long, they ended up being terrible people. I doubt he would agree to it.
We don't.
But yes.
We don't tell them until it's too late.
I'm gonna take this off because it's making too much noise. But anyways, no, he's not gonna agree to it. He won't even agree to us getting a dog.
We don't tell him till it's too late.
We want
We'll
a
be
dog
like,
here,
yo,
guys.
it's gonna be a cool
And Alex
cosplay.
will let us.
We bought it.
Who's Alex?
So he's my usual co-host.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but now he's gone, so Jameel is here filling in for him. I mean, you could be on more often. Like, it's an open invite. I literally tell everyone on the team, like, everyone could be on this podcast, and no one responds, so
I mean,
it's kind of your fault a little bit.
You know what? I need to be on a podcast with you and Alex so I can stake my claim, you know?
Okay, anyways, so what I was going to talk about, to get into the topics for real, was a show which, Kevin, you were, like, annoyed by it. I'm joking. You weren't annoyed, but you were like, how am I going to talk about this? So there's this show that I just finished today. I saw the last episode today called Beef.
Okay, I've seen it on Netflix. I've seen it.
Yeah, but you haven't actually watched it, right?
Haven't watched it.
Yeah, so Jacques wants to leave because he doesn't want any spoilers. Cover your ears.
Glenn's in it. I saw Glenn.
Glenn.
Yeah, from Walking Dead.
He has a real name.
And also...
It's Glenn. It will always be Glenn.
And also Ben from Umbrella Academy's there as one of the characters.
Ben too?
Yeah, Ben's there.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got some cool actors in there. It's like an all mostly Asian cast. There's like one white person in there and a ginger. That's about it. But anyways, the whole theme... What? Oh, I thought I heard you say something. Sorry. I'm hearing voices.
Uh-oh.
So, the show is a dark comedy thriller, and the whole theme, like the theme surrounding it, I'll just say is depression and anger. So the whole way that the show starts is like basically these two people who are kind of like secretly miserable with their lives end up in a road rage incident with each other. So it's like a really crazy scene, and then that kind of starts this domino effect where essentially they have beef with each other like the whole show, and that's pretty much what it is. But it really escalates and develops, and it's like I feel like the whole theme of it is like when basically if you're not trying to understand other people, if you're just reacting emotionally and out of anger, or you know you're not really trying to get the other person's perspective, then it escalates to the point that they get to in the show. And it's just really well done. I don't want to describe it too much by spoiling it for you guys.
It does sound interesting.
It is really, really good, and I would say that the last episode is like one of the best I've seen in a show.
Horror? Is it like
thriller? I wouldn't call it horror. It's thriller, but it's only thriller in the way that you can feel a build up to something really bad that's going to happen. And it gets really, really intense, but the majority of it, I would say, is more like dark comedy. So, yeah, but I would say like by the last couple episodes, only 10 episodes, it gets really more thriller. But it's really good. So I recommend that. That's what I was going to start off with. And I was going to also give a shout out. So I told you about this. I don't know if I told you, but I found out that a friend of mine, his name is Tian Chen. His full name is, I think, I might be pronouncing it wrong now, but it's Tian. What?
Don't pronounce it.
I hate you. I knew him since middle school. I remember they used to call him Tian Ching, but it's spelled differently, so I don't know if that's actually how it's pronounced.
Y'all were just low-key bullying him?
That's what I'm saying, is maybe people were pronouncing it wrong, but we always just called him Tian. Like, that's what he asked us to call him, right? So... time out? Oh, okay. No problem.
Something was vibrating too.
I don't know.
Might have been my leg. I've been shaking.
Yeah, if you shake your leg, the mics pick it up.
Or the AC. I mean, we can't need that on.
Still hear you guys over, but it sounded like something.
That's okay.
I'm gonna make a comment before I'm gonna derail us for a second.
We're good? Okay, we're good to start, and take two.
Before we switch topics, speaking of
I didn't
Glenn,
finish my shout out.
it's okay. We'll get back. Tian can wait. Tian, we love you.
Yeah, okay. We didn't even say what he did, but okay.
We just love you. That's it. We don't know what you did, but we love you.
Alright, go on.
Speaking of Glenn, because the actor, so I found a YouTube channel recently where he does like summaries of TV shows. So I've recently summarized all of Walking Dead because I never finished it. Breaking Bad.
There's a Breaking Bad?
The summary.
He does a
What are you
summary.
talking about?
He just
I zoned out when you
summarizes
started
the whole
talking.
show.
It's a channel?
Yeah, who just summarizes
okay.
the whole show. So I finished Breaking Bad finally and Walking Dead.
By watching the summary.
The summary, yeah.
You're
yeah.
the worst.
Wait. Does that count? You cheated.
Yeah, you didn't actually
cheated.
watch
I
it.
got the cliff notes.
No,
the
but
important parts.
No, you didn't, because there's detail that you missed.
Breaking Bad is a show you shouldn't just get a summary on.
I watched most of Breaking Bad and most of Walking Dead, and I'm glad I got to
Breaking
finish
Bad?
it.
I never got into it.
I never
You
got
know what?
into
Do
Walking
you want the
Dead.
cliff notes?
No, don't. Stop it. Breaking Bad is an amazing show. It's only 5 seasons. You could and if you watch it, it's I would consider it one of the best shows made. I think you should watch it.
I found it a bit slow.
You didn't watch it.
I watched the first 2 seasons, and that's why I wanted to finish the summary.
That doesn't count.
It counts.
2 seasons is not enough.
You know what's also sad? I started the summary of Lost and
my
couldn't finish it.
You couldn't even finish the
Isn't
summary.
that that show just a shit show, basically? Like a bunch of just...
They rushed. I
Yeah.
heard they rushed the end. They did kind of a Deus Ex Machina ending. It was a bullshit ending.
There was a writer's strike. I think that might have affected...
Oh, and we're back on a writer's strike too.
Yeah, that might
which is
have affected,
affecting
yeah.
things already.
Which
So
shows.
shout out to my friend Tian, who was an animator on Spider-Man. You were supposed to be quick. He's an animator. He
Oh,
was one of
let's
the
get on
animators on
topic.
Spider-Man. I think it's Into the Spider-Verse, the movie that just came out. So shout out to you. Good work. I always knew you were going to be some famous
you
artist
seen it?
dude someday. No, I haven't. But
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I haven't watched any of them. I haven't even watched the new Spider-Man.
Wait, you haven't watched the second one?
I haven't even watched the ones with Tom Holland. I
haven't.
only watched...
Okay, you can
Quiet.
just leave the podcast.
No. I only watched... What was it? The Home one?
Homecoming.
Oh, no. The recent
Far
one
From Home?
with the one with like the other Spider-Mans.
You just spoiled
That's-
it.
What? How is that a spoiler?
Not many people know the other Spider-Mans are there.
Everyone knows. It's literally in the trailer. What are you talking about?
It was not. It was not. In
If
the
you
trailer.
haven't
It was
watched
in
it
the
at this
trailer.
point,
I mean, that's fair.
It was
that's
a trailer.
fair.
Jacques, you can come back in.
we're on a new Spider-Man movie.
Get the mic.
Yeah.
Get the mic.
I
I'm
mean-
right? They know. You guys should have seen it by now.
I mean, I've watched it.
Exactly. So
I watched
quiet.
it 3
no
times.
spoilers. So you guys quiet you.
I'm
Because
just trying
you
to make
guys-
you feel bad. Don't worry.
Don't. No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so anyways, yeah, I haven't seen it, but in all honesty, like I kind of lost interest after The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay, so I've heard a little bit of like things about the new Spider-Man movie. I heard
Yeah.
it's wrapping up to most likely be it's the best animated movie.
I've heard that. I've heard it's really good.
And they're probably saying it's going to be the best cartoon, like not even the best cartoon, best comic trilogy.
Or it's gonna be a trilogy.
Yeah, there's a third one.
Oh.
So whenever they say that, it always bombs.
I don't know, man. I heard the second one is better than the first one.
Hold on. The first one, they didn't hype it up. It was great. It was great. This one, they're hyping up, so if it doesn't live to expectation,
But it's already getting good reviews. I'm hard pressed to believe it's bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like...
The second one looks like it's a win. Yo, people are saying the first one, it's better than the first one.
Do you go to church?
Do I go to
Yeah.
I used to.
Yeah?
Back in the day.
Okay, sorry. I don't mean to derail the conversation.
Yeah, you do.
But we actually we ended off the last episode by talking about church and religion, and we were gonna talk about my experience.
With
and
church?
I felt because I was gonna say, like I said this last episode. I literally said church is like torture or yoga at the same time.
Church,
For me.
torture, and yoga.
Yeah, so I'll explain. So I went to my niece's first communion, and the thing is like I never went to church growing up, ever. And the only times I ever went were like maybe 2 times, 3 times, like just for like other people for a reason. So my niece's first communion, I was complaining to John. I was like, I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to go. It's going to be so boring. I really don't want to go. But, you know, I went because I'm supporting my family. And while I was there, it's torture. So the music is like a lullaby. All right, and they're singing it, and they're just like lulling you to sleep. And meanwhile, they're like, "All right, now let's kneel. Now let's stand up. Now let's sit down. Now let's get up. Now let's kneel." And I'm like, "I'm gonna die." And meanwhile, I'm like, "Can I just sleep?" And they're just like singing this fucking song that's lulling me. And then when I sit down, I'm like, "I could sleep now." And as I'm falling asleep, they're, "All right, get up and get down." And I'm like, "Oh my god."
Not only that,
It's like I'm doing yoga. Huh?
Chairs are very
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
because it's a bench.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's a
saying.
wooden bench, and then they make you kneel. I mean, good. Like, thankfully, they have those things you pull down that are like cushions.
Pretty easy,
But
yeah.
still, it's like I'm way too close to the person in front of me. It makes me really uncomfortable.
Especially because like my parents used to bring me when I was like 9, but like
Mm-hmm.
7 o'clock in the morning. Imagine, I'd be literally sleeping on the
Did they ever
bench.
judge you for like falling asleep?
I don't think they noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably did, but they probably didn't care. They just wanted me there.
Okay.
Saying the Zenitsu costume and sleeping, it all ties back in. We were just like, no one knows I'm asleep.
And they actually talk to you, and you'll get up and talk to them with your eyes closed, like Zenitsu.
In his sleep, he can get up and sit down, get up, sit down, kneel.
literally-
Yeah, with the bubble in his nose.
I've been there so many times that I know when the priest will ask us to stand or kneel, so I'd be doing it like asleep. Kind of thing.
That's pretty messed up, actually.
You're just not sleeping.
That's-
Amen.
It sounds like trauma. Some religious
wasn't.
trauma. No? What?
No,
Do you have some?
So yeah, same for me. Definitely slept in church. Wasn't as discreet, but I mastered the art of like sleeping while sitting up,
Oh my
which I
God.
didn't know was an actual thing.
Yeah.
The other church kids were jealous of me. Apparently, they're like, "How do you do that?"
My dad does that.
Like,
They
You
kept
can
like
s-
slipping and like waking up. I'm like,
oh no.
I'm the same way, to be honest.
mastered the art of it. Worst
Yeah.
one was I fell asleep next to a pastor's wife. Like, fell asleep cold, snoring apparently.
Dude, half the people working at the church were staring at me while I was like falling asleep, and then I was like giggling in shock. I was like, "Yo, when's this gonna end?" It was like the worst. I was so disrespectful. I don't know. I can't help it. It's so boring. It was 3 hours
Jesus.
of the same thing over and over, and I'm like, listen, you guys, it sounds like a cult at this point because they're starting to like, yeah, first communion, because they're starting to repeat the same thing, like, and all you hear is blah, 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 and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh my
it
God,
sounds about
this
right.
is creepy.
Have you ever had the like when you want to do like the extended service or you're fasting and you have to stay there for like 6 hours?
Like after the
You're making this up.
No, swear to God,
there
sometimes.
is a
Really?
thing like that, but like I never was really told to do it, so
Oh,
I've
you're
never
lucky.
done it.
I was forced to because there was no one else to watch me at home, so I would be like, "Oh, guess
So
what
you'd
you're
be
staying?"
fasting?
I had to fast, and it was
You were just
terrible.
being tortured.
Yeah, it was like
I told you it was
depriving me
torture.
of food. I'm like, I'm
Oh,
hungry.
it got
Just
even-
2 more hours.
It got even worse because you know how I can't have gluten, right? I was thinking about the part with the bread and the wine.
Oh,
Everyone's
no.
getting up, and I'm like,
I mean, you don't have to.
I know you don't have to.
Slap it out. No, I don't
But
want
then-
the blood of Jesus.
But then when they passed around like the basket of money, it was so full. Like Polish Catholics, like
Oh,
crazy.
100%.
So full, and then they passed it to me, and I'm like. The guy, it was the same guy every time who caught me sleeping, saw me pass the basket over, saw me not get up, saw me giggling with shock, and I'm like, this guy is like condemning me to hell in his head. I
Calling you
swear.
a heathen.
Literally.
Was
he's
he like behind you, in front of you?
He was in the aisle, so like I was close to the edge because we also came late. We came like 20 minutes late. We were terrible.
You mean
You're
not
great.
gone?
I went because I went for the after party. We partied for
After
like 9
party?
hours. Yeah,
A
Polish.
communion after party?
Do you not know Polish people? We party after everything. They're like 40 and 60-year-olds pissed drunk at like 1 a.m.
That sounds right though, but I don't know
Yeah.
about communion.
So you just had to make it past the boring part to get to the great
Yeah,
part.
literally. After the 3 hours, then I got all the food. All we did was eat. So with the, I don't know if I talked about this last time. Did I get into it? Jameel, do you remember? You don't remember.
About what?
About the last episode? Did I talk about this
About
story?
what?
The communion. Then okay, I'll talk about it. It's fine. Like if you've ever been to like a Polish party, like a Polish family gathering, it's insane how much food we eat and how much we drink. It lasted for like 9 hours. No, that's
that?
inappropriate. This is my family we're talking about.
I mean, not like
No,
that,
two
but
dicks
just
at
like
one time.
I mean, like crazy. I just meant in
Not
reference
that
of crazy.
Not that crazy. Okay, not incestual crazy.
Look. Being a bystander and in the audience, is there an in between?
What?
Nothing.
Wait,
just
wait,
mean
what? Chopper! Okay, we're moving
I didn't mean like
on.
that. I just mean in like it's crazy, not like literally that crazy, but just like oh my god, it's so crazy.
So I'm gonna tell you what actually happened. So for starting at, I remember if it was like 2 or 3, was when we went. There's like a huge feast. We eat a lot, we drink a lot, and then like a couple hours later, more food comes out. It's like 8 courses of meal, and every couple hours we get more food. Meanwhile, there's people upstairs still cooking food for all of us. There's like 20 of us, and they're just cooking upstairs, and they come down with more food and more food, and everyone's eating it. You know why? And I realized why. Because we drink so much, we need to absorb the alcohol.
That's the reason why?
That's literally, well, that and we love food, but it's also one of the biggest reasons. And so you have like, but my family, they range from like their 40s to their late 60s. They're all wasted up until like 1, 2 a.m. My mom got home later than me. She's like 67.
Sin, she's like lightweight.
Yeah, she's like, why are you going home already? And I'm like, I'm tired. It's like 9:30. I'm like, it's my bedtime. I'm exhausted.
Did you bring food home at least?
Did we bring food home? Yeah, we did. I think Jacques did. I wanted to. I don't remember if I actually did. I don't think there was anything for me.
Yeah, that's what I was
maybe
gonna
it was-
ask. I was like, did they accommodate for the?
Yeah, because my niece has celiac and it was her communion. So me and her get the
lucky.
yeah.
Okay.
Actually, not really. I felt bad she was diagnosed, but at like 7. But you know,
I mean, better early than late.
I'm the reason too, cause like her doctors were gaslighting her. Like literally, my sister-in-law told them like, hey, I think she might have celiac. My sister-in-law says she has the same symptoms as a kid, and then they were like, no, she doesn't. And she's like, well, are you gonna test for it at least? And they're like, no, she doesn't have it. And she's like,
You know
okay.
what? You know what?
And they did that for like 2 years.
I can see why doctors want to dismiss people because they probably feel like everyone like, yeah, you probably read it on the internet. No, I went to school, listened to.
But the thing is, it's like the test for celiac is not free here. You have to pay for it. So it's not like they're doing it for free. Like I had to pay out of pocket to get tested for celiac.
I just think they don't want to be wrong.
I think they just don't want to deal with it because it's such a rare like it's, you know, they say it's rare. I feel like it's just underdiagnosed, but they see it as like it's rare and they're like, oh, this person's probably just freaking out. They Googled something and they think they have it. And a lot of them dismiss it. And actually, there was a doctor online who talked about this, saying that, you know, a lot of doctors he's literally known will dismiss patients because they just, if a patient goes to them and says, I Googled this or I looked up symptoms and I have this, the doctor will immediately think, like, dismiss them and be like, no, they're just like a hypochondriac or something. So it's actually a thing. So it's better to like kind of go in acting like you don't know what's going on, but then knowing what tests you need to get. Which is kind of fucked up when you think about it. Jameel, you seem like you're dissociating a little bit.
Nope.
Oh,
I was just thinking about doctors and like, I was like,
And you have some trauma there?
a little.
Yeah.
I've had like the worst.
He's canceling. Why are you canceling him?
The buttons are just so tempting to press.
He's like about to talk about his trauma. You're like, nope, shut the fuck up.
I felt like he didn't want to talk about it, so I pressed it for him.
Oh.
No, I think I have mentioned it before, but I had the worst doctor.
Oh, are you gonna tell the same story again?
I won't tell the same story again, but just
okay.
the worst doctor. Been still not traumatized by that. No, I only went there like I think twice, which apparently is enough to traumatize me. And every time I go to a doctor's, I'm on like edge, or I'm like, what are you gonna say to me? Okay, you're nice.
Dude, it only takes one time to get traumatized by anything.
Really?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
if you get attacked one time by someone, you would definitely be traumatized by that.
I guess. Yeah.
If you get punched in the face randomly on the street one time, I think you'd start being paranoid that someone's gonna punch you in the face.
But then like, I feel like that's just our human programming, and it's so annoying that like we're almost in program.
But it's like, isn't it like a self-defense mechanism?
Yeah, but that's annoying.
Because it's like your brain remembers it, so your brain is like, I'm ready for the next time. But not last time this happened, the sky was blue, the wind was strong, I was right next to this pole, it's gonna happen again, and then you get all tense and ready. It's like a conditioning, and dogs, like, all animals do this, because it's how we survived.
Yeah, but it's just
We don't have that memory.
It's programming. Like, I think I'm very against just being like my own programming. Like, I want to be.
God.
Well, yes, I am a god. I like being in control, and I don't like giving control over to the subconscious.
Yeah, but you have the subconscious. You gotta accept that.
But he's on the back seat right now.
So talking about trauma, there is this disease that I don't know if you've heard of it, Stone Man syndrome.
I have not heard of it.
So I learned about this a while back, but like it came up again, and it kind of fucked me up, and it led to me thinking about a lot of issues when it comes to funding like research for diseases and things like that. So Stone Man syndrome is actually, it's a super rare illness where any trauma to the body, and so even like, let's say you cut your finger, or let's say you bump your foot or bump into something, instead of like scar tissue, I think it is, it gets replaced with bone. So their body starts to actually become bone, and it gets to a point, because obviously you can't live your entire life like not having any sort of physical trauma to the body. Like even like me lightly hitting the table could cause it. So, so basically there comes a point in their life where they actually have to tell the doctors whether they want to be stuck sitting down or lying down, because there comes a point where they can't move anymore at all.
They can't have sex, can they?
Probably not.
Probably. Why is that your first thought?
No, because I thought about like all the simple things that like you can't do, and I'm like, in my head I was like, oh my god, they can never play football or any sport. It would be too dangerous. Like,
they can't walk like without like there being trauma to the feet.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. Is like everything you do causes some kind of physical trauma to the body.
Like
They usually die by 40.
the lightest touch just causes.
I don't know how, like, if it's like as light of a touch, but it's like I think there has to be some form of trauma, right? So it's like something that your body has to repair, anything. Mm-hmm. So like as a paper cut, you know? So anything like that. And it's weird. I've never heard of it before. And then this girl was talking about it who had it, and she was saying how they actually have, wait, hold on, let me finish before I forget. They actually have seen properties that could potentially cure this disease, but the problem is that there's no funding for it, so no one's actually actively researching this. And it's messed up because there's people out there genuinely who are like suffering, who can't live their lives.
It needs to be. Oh man, they might get canceled. We just need to like
I'm ready.
mass infect people with it.
It's not it's like a genetic disorder.
I mean, if we can turn it into a weapon,
Stop,
a disease,
stop. No,
it would be
we're not-
cured so
no.
quickly.
We're not enforcing like
A
what
pandemic?
is yeah, we're not enforcing you creating a, or what is it called? It's like biological terrorism or something.
Good Dr. Stone, but with real bones and stuff.
Jordan wanted to say something actually. What did you want to say?
Oh man, oh no. Oh, got it. So like, what if I get a cold, right? And like I'm coughing.
Oh, definitely there would be problems with
lungs?
that.
That would turn your lungs to stone, bone.
I don't know about the lungs. I think it would be like maybe potentially the throat.
Dog, what if I get a nosebleed?
Probably or not. I don't know. I don't know the extent of it because when the girl was describing it, she said that sometimes like parts of her get hard, but it's like it kind of goes away, but over time it gets worse and worse. So it's probably like at first it's very minor maybe. I don't know because like I don't have it, and all I read about it, she just said like any form of trauma can make it worse. So yeah, probably when things like that happen, it starts to turn to like bone.
I had a friend in high school who
Yeah.
he didn't have that disease, but he had something that was also really like bad in my opinion. Basically, he can't have hair on his body.
He can't
Whoa.
have hair
No,
on his body?
He has like shaved eyebrows.
Oh,
shaved
I
head,
think of
And he's allergic to hair, basically.
really.
Yeah, so, like-
he's constantly shaving it, and he
Yeah,
can't have eyelashes
No,
either.
I thought we thought
Did
he
he
had
pluck
cancer.
those?
I'm not sure.
Oh
We
my
thought
god,
he,
that sounds painful.
yeah, we thought he had cancer, but he didn't because again, there's no hair anywhere in his body, and then we found out later that if he grows hair, he get like an allergic reaction or something. I'm not sure.
I've heard of people being allergic to running. Like literally when you run, I looked it up and it was real. A doctor confirmed it. There's like something that's released in your body when you run where you can actually have an anaphylactic reaction. This one girl, her face started swelling up and her throat closed up while she was running. She was like, "This is why I never run." You can actually be allergic to exercise.
I feel like the human body is so amazing that like so much more complex than like we can even imagine. To be allergic to running, like something
Yeah.
that gets released.
But that's why when people are dismissed with things, it pisses me off because I'm just like, literally everyone is different and people keep discovering new things every day. It's not like I know that there's some people that are considered hypochondriacs or maybe they are making stuff up, but then you have to look into why they're making stuff up, like because you know they could be making it up for attention. Why do they want attention? Well, maybe there's like they have some kind of mental illness or some kind of abuse at home, you know, things like that.
Medicine and even like science, really, it's not that far. Like we haven't actually made it that far. As far
It's
as
only
we
been
have.
like what, like a few hundred years or
'cause when
something
you
that
think
we've had
about
like huge strides in medicine in the
Maybe.
last 100 years.
No, well, like we
Yeah.
did get
Like
a
they
setback.
used to like treat bipolar by putting leeches on people and burning their ankles. That was like in the 1800s.
Yeah,
This is pretty fucked up.
there are lots of things we treated like with stupid, so
Literally just abusing the patient and probably killing them in the process.
lobotomy.
Yeah, lobotomies. That was very recent. That was like 100 years ago.
And they're like, maybe this is a bad idea.
Like we notice if we drill a hole in their head, they stop being really, really annoying to deal with. So let's just do that.
Wanted them quiet, we did it.
They wouldn't stop screaming at night, and I don't want to deal with it. So let's just put a hole in their head.
Or like
Pretty fucked up.
how they used to prescribe cocaine
Literally.
or opiate. You know, she's annoying you. Here's drugs. Just get her
Some
doped
drugs.
up.
Didn't they used to give like alcohol to babies to make them stop crying, so they would just pass out being drunk? That's like brain damage. That's
Isn't
pretty
that why
fucked up.
like maybe Russians are very immune to like alcohol because that's how they used to deal with crying babies, maybe?
Are you Russian?
No, I don't drink often.
Do you know
but-
what you're saying?
No, but they have a tolerance for it.
Canceled. Well, to be fair, my dad gave me a beer when I was like 4 because I kept asking him for it. But I thought it was so gross, I spit it out. But I told my mom, she was horrified.
Well-
She's like, I didn't know he gave you a beer, and I was like,
Were you here's my question with that. Were you allergic? Like, did you have celiac at that point too?
I have no idea. I started getting digestive issues when I was like 8. but they misdiagnosed me or they dismissed me for like years. I didn't know until I was 24. Yeah, so that was a lot of damage done to my body. I even was like seeing GI specialists, but they still refused to do any invasive stuff, so they did an endoscopy, but it showed something, but I'm not gonna like reveal that here because like I did get diagnosed with something, but it was but if you want to find out celiac, you actually have to go in and get it like a biopsy done in the colon. Or something like that. Whoa. Yeah, so you get usually a colonoscopy for that. Oh. Yeah. So
it happened to my friend once.
What? They got a colonoscopy? Yeah, I got one too.
I'm just saying.
Okay. I thought you had a story with that.
Men, are we supposed to get one at like a particular age?
Well, you start. So if your family has it. My grandpa had like I don't know if it was colon or rectal cancer or something, cancer. Sorry. And my mom now gets colonoscopies every year, but they only start when you're like in your 50s or 60s. When you get older.
I feel like it's earlier for men, isn't it?
It's my mom though. I don't know about men. I don't know. Maybe for men, yeah, but for my mom, it wasn't until like 50 or 60.
I think it says like early as 40s for men.
By the way, they're the fucking worst. I don't know. You guys, dude, that fucking, what was it called, Jacques?
Sounds like trauma.
It is. It was horrible. We were up an entire night. No. It's the stuff you have to drink. We have to drink to flush it out. Yeah. Listen. It was so bad. It was. It's called Peg Light or something.
Peg
Light? Dude.
Yo, whoever named it knew what they were doing. They're like, yo.
It was, you know how much I had to drink? Like a liter
Did it taste
of
good
it. No.
Oh?
No.
What flavor was it?
It was fruit. It was disgusting. Listen, when I was
just
drinking,
generic fruit.
It was like,
which one?
It was like, it would just said like fruity or fruit flavor.
Was
and
it
it had a
gluten-free?
picture. I don't know, probably. Anyways, so I had to drink that entire thing, and it was so disgusting. And it told me I had to drink like a certain amount every hour or something, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't get through it because I started almost vomiting every time I took a sip. And I'm like, how am I gonna get this down and flush my system out? So I literally couldn't do it. And so when they did do the actual procedure, they said that it wasn't clear enough.
Oh no.
And I was so mad. No, I didn't. I gave up. I was like. Oh my god. Token black guy. Jesus.
What up, Killer B?
Can you see it?
I'm sure there's more than just Killer B.
Oh, Naruto had lots of black people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it was. Even
they had a whole village.
Choji's kid is black.
People in anime get dealt with dirty.
Yeah?
Like old school anime, yeah, like Mr. Popo.
Mr. Popo and Topo.
Wait. You want to say that about black people in anime? The only Spanish fucking anime character there is fucking Chad Soto.
I love him.
Chad?
Chad's the best.
No.
From where?
Hold on.
From Bleach.
Oh,
Bleach.
Bleach,
Yeah.
No. There's a boxing anime. Sounds racist. But there's a boxing.
Hajime no Ippo, he's Japanese.
No, not Ippo. What was it called? Megalobox.
I'm sorry, have you guys seen any Polish people in anime? No, you haven't.
Megalobox.
They have a Polish person?
I'm pretty sure the guy was he was either Polish or Russian.
Okay, you can't say Polish or Russian in the same sentence and expect me to be fucking okay with that. Bucko!
Hold on.
Buddy! It's like if I literally turned to Kevin and said Filipino or Japanese, one of the two. It's like not even close.
I mean, I would say...
Isn't there someone in Baki or Kengan Ashura or something? One of the fighters. I think he's a grappler or something.
I haven't watched this, so I don't know.
Russian, not Spanish.
No,
Yeah,
he's
you'll-
Spanish.
Oh, so we forgot about me again.
No, I just brought up the fact that there's literally not even a single Polish anime character I could name.
And I also want to say Blue Lock, I'm pretty sure,
Jellyfish.
had a Spanish character.
Yeah.
No, for sure has a Spanish character.
Where?
On one of the world.
One of the world, yeah.
So the Argentinian player for the world,
Latino accounts.
right? No.
Yeah, he's Latino. He's
Yeah, no,
definitely
he's
Latino.
Latino. But there was also a guy from Brazil. There was also a fucking.
Okay, so multiple. What you're
European.
saying?
Because it's not really like with Japan and anime, they're not good with representation there.
Well, like,
Look
you
at
know,
Piccolo.
They might be better now,
Look at
but they're
Piccolo.
pretty shit.
You know what? Though?
Piccolo was
It's
supposed to be
understandable why they're not good at
black guy
representation. Like, it's
They don't have a
literally.
lot of
not that
immigrants.
many in there.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even that though, but it's made specifically for Japanese youth. Like, you're gonna show Japanese kids because you're telling Japanese stories.
And you want them to be able to relate and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Like, it's not. as much as it's more of a world media now or world medium,
It wasn't back then.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's still kind of like it's
Yeah.
still geared towards them. If
But
we
to be
get
honest-
representation, it's like, oh shit, great.
Yeah.
Like Chad from Bleach was like probably the best.
He was my favorite
Yeah, he's
character.
so
That's what I'm
good.
saying. So
But they did him
Chopper,
dirty.
you can't complain because
Yeah,
you get
I
one of the
mean,
best anime characters.
Chad did get done dirty.
I mean,
When?
Chad should have been so much
Yeah,
more
exactly.
stronger and so much more cooler.
He's essentially their squad's tank.
And hold on,
But
even
isn't
then,
that supposed to be like the strongest
why did we
person?
never get to see a full body transformation? Like that's what I thought they were like ramping up to. It was like first one arm, then a
Oh, I didn't
second
get that
arm.
far, I don't think.
Oh,
spoiler
spoilers.
alert.
No, I'm probably never gonna finish it, to be honest. Like, I just got bored.
The new Bleach is so like the okay.
I mentioned this on one episode where I said, like, I never finished a big 3 anime, like any
know
of the
what?
popular ones, because
What's the
they're
big
so
three?
well.
Hopefully
There's a
there's a
big 3 like
summary.
every decade.
Not
Sorry.
every decade, but hopefully there's a
Yeah, we
summary and you
saw
can
a
just
thing about
summarize
it.
the whole thing and
So
finish in
what's the
20
big 3
minutes.
right now?
Ooh.
Well, we talked about this one episode. It was Demon Slayer,
So, yeah, it goes by
My
it goes
Hero
by generation,
Academia,
yeah.
and then what was the third one?
I think it was Jujutsu
Dragon Ball Z
Kaisen.
Kai, wasn't it?
No, Jujutsu Kaisen, I believe.
No,
I would say
okay,
One
maybe.
Piece
Yeah,
though.
no,
Maybe.
no,
I don't
no.
think One Piece
But
has
One
left
Piece
the
was
guys.
from the decade before.
Yeah, but I don't
Guys,
think One Piece has
guys.
left the big.
Me and Jordan did this.
We did this one episode.
Well, me and Jordan did this on our own one day, and every big 3 is based on generation.
Yeah, but
So our generation was One Piece.
I disagree.
Well, that's
can I just say that Chopper, I know you guys did it on your own, but I'm trying to point out that there's an episode you could literally go back to where we talk about it, right? So that we did talk about it, and we did like every 10 years. People say there was a different big 3, but it's decided by like the
popularity?
the population, right? Something like that. It's like a, but based on how popular it is or something.
Even listing those ones, I wouldn't put My Hero in the big 3.
I personally wouldn't either, but that's what's been voted as one
I would
of the
put
big 3.
Attack on Titan above My Hero in terms of popularity.
I don't know if it made it. What's up?
You know, you know Lucy from Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
Apparently she's Polish.
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah.
That makes sense.
'Cause you
Because
really have the
he was
hair.
always saying, "Oh, I remind him of Lucy." I remember when I first met you, and then when I saw her personality, I'm like, "How?" But it was more the look, right?
Well, yeah.
Or no? Or is it? Did
It's
you
the
see?
hair, the
okay,
hair.
okay.
The Polish attributes.
It makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I guess I didn't know that, so that's good to know. Anyways, so yeah, there's
big
that.
3.
The big 3.
Well, to be honest, if you go to a convention, you can kind of tell who the big 3 is by how many people cosplay
Yeah.
from that show.
Jujutsu Kaisen had bare Sakunas, if I'm.
Yeah, and then around 2017 and 2018, it was literally My Hero Academia con everywhere. Everybody was dressed as
Yeah,
Deku or
but then
Bakugo.
and
I
Demon
would-
Slayer too. At some point, I saw
Are we-
like,
are we
everyone
going-
was in Demon Slayer.
Are we gonna go with what's the biggest that year, or what's continuously the biggest for like the
It's
series
just-
run?
It's a span of like 10 years usually of what within that period was like the most popular.
Because like even then we would have to include Sword Art Online as like one of the big 3.
I wouldn't say so.
no,
It would-
usually
hold on.
usually
there was a
one-
con where every other person was the main character of Sword Art.
What's his name?
I don't remember this.
No, something with an S. Personally,
S. K.
I hate that anime.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
I hate it. I thought it was so
He
boring.
blows
I
it
thought it
out
was
in his
boring. I
brain.
thought it was boring as hell.
So boring.
Like I love the music.
And I made it to 3 seasons.
I never watched it.
I made it to half of the first season where they woke up, and I'm just like, I'm done. I can't.
I
What
thought something was gonna happen.
What's funny is sorry, go on.
I thought something was gonna happen the first season, so I finished it and was like, "What the actual ass?" And I started the second season and could not get past the first episode. It was so bad. If you think the first season's bad, the second season
They're
is
gonna take
by
it to
far worse.
I've heard that, and that's why I didn't watch it. Because like when I actually considered watching it, I saw everyone online saying how like season 2 went to shit. I'm like, okay, well I'm not gonna watch this now. Like, what's the fucking point?
You know what it was? Season 2 was more of like a continuous story, and a lot of people liked it for being like each episode kind of being its own episode. Like
Oh, so what is it called?
first-
It's episodic.
basically.
Okay.
Basically, because like even though it follows one character, it wasn't like a continuous series of events that were like building on each other. It was like I did this today.
See,
and
I
then
don't
did
like
this
that.
today.
I don't like that. I like build-ups. I like continuous stories. That's why Okay, this is a very unpopular opinion. I know I'm gonna get roasted for this, but that's why I didn't particularly like Cowboy Bebop. Only
I haven't
because
watched it.
I know it's considered one of the best anime of all time. I get it, but I can see why. Like there are
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
if
good
it's
things
considered
about
the best.
it. It is. It is. Okay.
I heard it's
Everyone
really good.
calls it one of the best. If you look up best animes of all time, it's always number one. And I'm just gonna say that.
What?
That yeah.
I wouldn't. I think there's a lot of things that are good about it, but
I do
am
too, but
not.
I don't like
I'm
it.
not putting it at number one. I've never put it. At
Yeah, that's your personal opinion, and I'm the same. But that's why I'm trying to say it's unpopular. Like
But I
the
feel
majority
like
of
it's
people
a
think it's number one.
generation who believe that Cowboy Bebop was the best. But like,
Because yeah,
Full Metal Alchemist
is the best, right?
is the best.
High five.
Yeah. Like
Right?
without a doubt.
I agree.
50
yeah.
perfect.
Full Medical Alchemist is like a
Brotherhood
perfect.
or-
Brotherhood.
Okay.
Brotherhood,
And here's
yeah.
the thing: the first
true
one was
story.
good, and then Brotherhood came out and made the first one look shit.
The first one, when it was getting to the end, like when it was getting off the manga, I got bored. Like I didn't even know that they were veering off the manga. I was watching it as a kid, and I started getting so fucking bored. And I'm like, why am I so like? I was so pumped for this show. What the hell? And then I found out later that it veered off the manga, and I was like, okay, well that makes sense.
R.I.P. to all the animes that just veered off their manga and just ruined.
Claymore?
Gaunt's.
Have you heard of Claymore?
Yes, Claymore. I never
Claymore,
finished
Gaunt's,
Gaunt's.
Blue Exorcist.
What else? What else veered off the manga?
Well, the reason why I kind of got tired of like Naruto was that the 4 years of fillers.
Oh,
I'm like, there's no
God.
way. And when it finally came back to like Shippuden, I got so burnt out that I didn't watch Shippuden until 7 years later.
Same. I got so burned out from Naruto.
I think I did other anime.
But
during
I
that
watched it
time.
on TV, like when it was on TV every week, like when they were kids. That made it so long, and I was like, I watched all of it. By the end, I was so bored. And then when Shippuden came out, I was like excited, but I was watching Shippuden as it was being released in Japan and people were translating it for you. You know, back in the day with the fan subs, yeah.
Before,
But then,
Crunchyroll.
but then because I think the first season I like finished it, and then I completely forgot about it, and then like years later I just never got back to it.
So funny story.
Yeah.
So you know when like as a kid you're like on the internet and you're looking up random shit. So I came across a mega theory
Yeah.
about Naruto as a kid, and it actually was correct. Like it talked about how Kakashi's friend Obito is Obito, and gave a bunch of reasons why. And this was before it was even confirmed or anything. And they're like, Sasuke, there's probably a tablet that Sasuke needs to like visually see that is gonna unlock this, do something for him, which there was a tablet that he ended up seeing. Like everything that they talked about was correct. It was like a 3-page, I think it was like a 3-page like theory, and it was just right. It was just on the money.
Well, once you're like
Wait, was this
fan.
before it came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Like
I'm
if
gonna
you're a
open
fan of an
this. It'll be
anime.
real loud.
Good luck.
It might fly into your eye. Go on.
There are some like people who are like actual.
No, you're not. Go on.
Like if you're a fan of a show, you get really obsessive with it, and then you start seeing things that not many people do see. Like my brother was the same thing for Attack on Titan. He was so into it, and then he pretty much got all the.
Really, he guessed all of
yeah,
it.
big, not all. Not
I know.
all, so-
I see. Sorry.
Come
It
on.
got caught on my stocking.
Am I good?
Sorry.
Yeah, basically like he pretty much got a lot of the things correct, and then I asked if he read the manga, and he's like he doesn't have time to read it, right? So he just kind of like stopped between the lines. Especially, I'm not sure if you guys watched it. I don't want to spoil it, but he guessed.
Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, so he pretty much got a lot of the theories correct for Attack on Titan, and now that the final season's here, I'm like, crap, he had a lot of the theories correct. But yeah, once you get really into something, you get to see things that like it's literally in clear view. Like a lot of things in Attack on Titan,
Yeah.
a lot of it's like in front of you. You just don't put two and two together.
Sorry.
That's how I feel about
Can we pause for a second?
Yeah, because you're just ruining this.
I'm sorry. Hey, this is common behavior for me on here. Woo. Yeah, it's kind of. Hold on, let me just fix that. There's a lot going on here. Woo.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes, we can go. We can go off pause now.
Are you sure? I'm just gonna wait because it seems like you're gonna put that back too.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I feel about Jujutsu Kaisen right now because it's entering. It's like, so I've called a lot of things right so far, Like I don't want to give spoilers, but I do. But
I mean, you can. I'm probably not gonna watch it.
even with like the main bad guy, I figured he wanted this person's body, and then he ended up taking that person's body, so I was correct there.
I'm a god.
This is fun.
2 dicks at once.
That's what I wanted to press.
That's what he has now. No. And right now there's like the big fight. It's like one of the biggest fights. I want to say in anime. That's how big this fight's like ramping up to be. And my theory is the main person everyone thinks is gonna win. He's gonna get washed.
Oh.
I think it's gonna be a wash.
I stopped watching after episode 5.
I think Gojo.
I'm sorry.
I think Sakana is gonna wash Gojo.
I have nothing to say
Well,
on this.
according to my friend, he mentioned as an anime north. He's like Gojo is in contention for one of the strongest characters in all of anime history.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't watched enough to like.
He's
confirm
supposed to be, and his powers kind of give him that. But the way the writer has written everything up to this point, I think they did it in a very intelligent way where they want you. Essentially, they built up this person.
Yeah.
So when he gets knocked down, you know this person's even higher.
Okay.
And that's what I think they did, is because like everyone believes he's a god. Everyone believes he's the strongest ever. But the bad guy and him are fighting. It's like the strongest person alive right now versus the strongest person in history. But like this person doesn't have any feats really, like very minuscule feats. Like we've seen a couple things, but everything is still so secretive.
So like, just ruining people's expectations, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
think
twist, yeah.
I think they've literally built up the expectations of this person. So when he loses,
Uh-oh.
and he will, the way it will trend, the way the internet will explode.
I mean, before we go off topic, like, do you actually enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen? Because I got bored to death watching it.
No, I really.
Sorry, Kevin. The show's called Derailed. Always going off topic.
No, I actually really do enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen. If you think the anime is boring, you are not going to be able to go through the manga. The manga does have boring parts.
Well, like, what about the show do you find, like, entertaining or interesting? Because I felt like watching it, I think I watched about 12 episodes. It felt like a knockoff of, like, Naruto, Bleach.
I know, I have the same opinion, honestly.
Nothing original.
I didn't
Even
feel-
Gojo looked like
I didn't feel like
Kakashi, you know
anything
what I mean?
new was in there. Yeah. I got the vibe.
No, it does have a lot of original ideas, and the writing is very different from Naruto, very different from Bleach, very different from it's as much as it kind of starts off feeling like a clone of it, it really does have its own identity.
Like a Jonin show? Shonen show? Is it shonen?
Yeah,
Shonen.
shonen. I would say if anything, it's maybe even closer to like Hunter x Hunter, but not as like drawn out.
Funny you mention it. So my girlfriend cosplayed a character Killua from Hunter x Hunter, and she always tells me it's the best anime she's ever seen. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
What anime?
Hunter x Hunter.
I never watched it.
I'll send you like a Cliff Note version.
It's not the best by far, but it's definitely up there with some of the best. Hunter x Hunter, the way it was written was phenomenal. It was a great story. It led up. The only thing I didn't like was the ending. But apparently it's starting again.
You're my terrifying bitch.
I want to see your.
It's like
ugly. I want to see your ugly.
I don't even know if it's technically grammatically correct. Like
Probably
Polish
not.
is such a complicated language. Like even my mom was trying to explain it to me. It's like all suffixes, prefixes, like, and it changes based on the context too. And it's one of those languages where everything has a gender too, so it changes based on.
Yeah,
It's
that
hard.
might be hard
I
for the
recently
West.
found
Okay,
out
we're starting
that
again, right?
that
I didn't do the
Latina,
clap.
the Latin language,
Yeah.
is also like that, and that's
Yeah,
why there's
what
Latin X.
Yeah, well, there's even like the original, like, I know what you're talking about, but like Latin, like the old language.
yeah.
So it's like that too, where it's all like prefixes and suffixes. But it's not that hard. Like, well, it's hard to learn, but it's not that hard because it's a smaller vocabulary because it never like transformed, right? But it's very similar. Like Polish is very similar in that way. But if you see, there's like pictures that literally show like how to say a word in English and then how to say it in Polish, and it's like a list of like 50 different versions of the word, and sometimes the word itself completely changes to a completely different word.
Well, that's
it's so confusing.
Stuff like that's kind of important in language because it helps give more expression. Like I feel like English sometimes has blanket terms that
That's true. It's easily misunderstood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And when it comes to communication, it's all about like how well you can really understand someone.
And Polish people, like, that's the thing, it's like, to me, the language always seems so direct and straightforward, but that's because there's so many different ways you can say, yeah, it's very specific. So it's like, then when they speak in English, they sound so blunt and direct because they're saying things like to your face and they're not really understanding there has to be like a certain way to say things.
Well, would you say with English there's a bit of like you have to know the contents of how, like almost how you say things is also really important? Like not in the sense of like
tone and inflection?
Yes.
I don't notice it in Polish. I don't think it's a thing, to be honest. I don't because they have a word for everything. So I don't think they need it. Whereas I feel like in English we add tone and inflection. Like I don't know, because I'm not an expert. Like my mom would be able to answer this because she used to teach languages. But I know that like in English, like you and some like in Chinese, like in Mandarin or Cantonese especially, the tone and inflection completely changes the word and what you're saying. But in Polish, it's not like that. Like I was never taught to speak like different tones and like ways of saying things in Polish.
I think I was referring to English though, but
in English, I think we do, but I don't know if it's necessarily like I don't know if it's like embedded in our language, right?
I don't think it's embedded in the language as much as it's almost maybe
like a
like
social thing.
sub context to the language. Like as much as we want to say like no, it doesn't matter, it's not there, it doesn't matter. But if I'm like hi, it's aggressive. Right?
Or when you say oh yeah, like and then but you don't say oh
meaning.
yeah, yeah, or yeah, right?
Like all that changes the meaning, and you're like, yo, what the hell?
Like in Polish, we kind of do that too, like sometimes, but it's I think it's more similar to English in that way, like because sometimes we'll say. Ja nie wiem, as in like, oh, I don't know, or you'll say, ja nie wiem, like it does, you do kind of change it, I guess, if that's what you mean.
The tone does.
Yeah, like the tone will change based on like what you mean or what the context is, I guess. What do you speak Filipino?
There's no such language as
What language do they speak?
Tagalog, Itawis, Ilocano.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to remember that.
But
Do you speak any of those?
I don't, but I can understand Tagalog fluently.
Did you ever speak it like when you were younger? I hear that a lot.
And you lost the
Yeah.
I came to Canada and within a week, out of my memories, but I can still understand everything fluently, especially when
That's always so interesting to me, like, because it's like, I can't imagine like understanding like without being able to speak, but like I hear a lot of people who say that like growing up in Canada they lost it, but they can still understand everything they're saying. Yeah, you just lose how to say it. I
That
guess
doesn't make sense.
it doesn't. So like
The information is there
Our
somewhere.
brains are
the information is there, but I can access it. But when somebody says something, I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar, and then the familiarity translates in my head. I'm like, oh, okay, I know what you're saying. But I can't. Like,
I feel like it's a weird thing
It's
with our
weird.
brain. I don't know if like we'd have to look that up what that is. Jacques, fact check. Why do people? Why can people understand language but not speak it? Ask ChatGPT. Have you heard? Did you hear about the lawyer who used ChatGPT to look up cases that he included in his briefs for court, and they were all fake cases, and now he's being like sanctioned or something
Hold on.
for it?
Wait,
He
I
used
heard
ChatGPT.
something like that.
Yeah, it's
That he-
crazy.
I thought he didn't use it, and ChatGPT said they were fake and they weren't fake. Like the ChatGPT said they were fake and
What
they
is
were
that?
real or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if more information came out. I just saw the first.
I don't remember.
I just saw the first article on it, and I was like, "That's wild." You know what
ChatGPT?
ChatGPT is? It's the AI. Like everyone's talking about.
okay.
Yeah, it's like an AI where you can
Sounds
ask
good.
it. Yeah. Well, Jacques
It lies
loves
a
it.
lot.
Yeah.
But apparently, yeah, it lies a lot. But I think it's because of where it gets its information. Like, if you're asking it legal questions, a lot of people are commenting. I don't know if you guys know this, but like a lot of like firms or even in law school or like when you study to be a paralegal, what you use to look up cases is like LexisNexis or Westlaw or like an example. Canly is the free one that people can access for major cases.
Do you know this because you're a lawyer?
I'm a paralegal.
Not a lawyer.
Anyways, so he said, like, someone said, it's because ChatGPT doesn't have access to those. It doesn't have access to, like, Westlaw or LexisNexis.
Why not?
Well, it's not programmed to. I don't know why it wouldn't, but it seems like it doesn't know whether the cases are real or not.
Issue. Like,
Could
you would have to give it access to that.
Because you have to pay for, like, those programs, those websites, sorry.
Yeah, it makes sense legally why you wouldn't, why it couldn't now. Because, like, then if it knew stuff, anyone who can ask it a question would technically be able to get free law information.
Yeah, so I think they're trying to prevent that. So it's probably getting information from like articles or blogs, and it's not necessarily correct. There's probably a lot of fake garbage out there.
See, I feel like the future should be further along, but we as a civilization won't allow certain things to progress as far as the
Holding us back kind of thing?
Yeah, like we very much hold ourselves back with technicalities or like
What's an example? Kind of?
Like laws that prevent certain research. But you know what? Let's go as far as to say like sometimes we go backwards. Like the whole states banning abortion. Like not all the whole states, but certain parts of the states banning.
Well, the
abortion.
U.S. it became it became federal for each state to decide, I guess. So. Yeah, sorry. That was pointless. Go on.
Well, like with certain states now banning abortions, it's like you're setting science back a bit with now like cutting it out there. Where like if someone was doing research there, they now have to either pick up or just stop completely.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's not in your like beliefs. And that stuff happens with like a lot of different things. Like ChatGPT would be another example, but like this stuff happens where like things could be better, we just don't allow them to.
Yeah, but when you think of an AI doing all that, like I think when it comes to law, like just because I know a lot about this, unfortunately, it's one of the. I'm not.
Not a lawyer.
Where's my not a lawyer shirt, by the way?
Next episode.
You lied to me. You told me on the phone that he had it ready for me.
I did not say that.
You totally lied. I record all my
would.
phone calls.
Like, I would have it ready.
No, you said it was ready and that I could wear it and switch it.
I said I would have it ready.
Oh my goodness.
Words are.
I gotta go back to the records and see what you said. So, anyways. So, anyways, what was I saying? Law. Yeah. So, I think it's good for people to have access to law, but I think to a certain extent having it have restrictions, because the thing is like I don't know how far this would go, but I feel like if anyone has access to some of these things, maybe not necessarily cases, but I talked to Jacques about this, certain programs used by like firms or like legal professionals, just anyone had access to it, it could become like a shit show, because like when you work in the legal field, it's very high in security and trying to protect people's information, right? Mm-hmm. So they try to add those restrictions to actually protect people in general. When you're having a case or things like that, you don't want anyone to be able to easily hack into that information or to easily get access to that information. So that's probably why there might be restrictions for an AI to have access to that kind of stuff.
I won't lie, a bit of it seems outdated. Like that logic, it does seem a bit outdated.
What do you mean?
We're like, there's so much information on the web already that it just seems like
you don't need AI to find it.
You don't even need like as much as like there's so much information on like these laws and like anyone who's had a case. Mm-hmm. There's been so much data breaches, so much free information on public websites that like does the amount of privacy that's being kept from those cases, is it really making a difference in the long term?
Well, it's not about the cases. It's not about it, because the cases are supposed to be accessible to everybody. Cases are public. It's more so about the program itself. Like the actual program itself is what I'm talking about. So I'm saying it might not necessarily apply to that case law, I'm saying, but I'm saying with any other like legal aspect, like legal program, it could be the issue of security. I think a lot of like even some of the programs we use for organization or accounting or things like that, you could very easily access very personal medical information of a person, right? So I'm just trying to say that I can see why they put restrictions to kind of avoid maybe the liability or the headaches of it, right?
You're saying that, like, is it because certain would it pertain to the case, and that's why certain medical information would be included, or how would that come up?
No, so what I'm saying is with the case law, I don't think, because the thing is LexisNexis, I'm pretty sure it uses other programs. It doesn't just give case law. It uses it has other resources for legal professionals. So it could be them just trying to keep the security on their website, on their programs. That's all the thing is like, again, I'm not an expert on websites or programs, but I'm just saying that I can see why they would have restrictions for that, because maybe there's other programs that other legal professionals use where it's like information that you can access through there. I don't know, right? I'm just saying that, like,
It seems like a stronger Google.
I'm just saying that in my like in where I work, we have such high security for a program that if there's one thing that is flagged as like an error in the programming, the whole thing shuts down, and we literally have to wait for it to get fixed. So that's how heavy the security is, because they really want to make sure that, like, that information doesn't just get given to anybody, right? Because when you have a legal case, depending on what area of law, you could have thousands of pages of someone's medical records, which is like completely confidential and that can't be revealed unless it's literally revealed in a court in front of everyone. Then it's public record. You know what I mean?
It just seems like what's public, and not to say anything about the app. It's just interesting what we're trying to consider public knowledge from what is already basically, what is public knowledge? Like, there's a crazy amount of information that you can get.
If someone presents something as an exhibit to prove something in court, so let's say someone has to show, this person's trying to claim that they have a bunch of these injuries because of this person, and the person is like, I present this exhibit, their medical records showing that the injury wasn't that serious. That's now public record if the case is like public record, right? Which the cases are. So people would know that about that person. But let's say it's a minor. If it's a minor, they don't name minors in the case. They're protected, right? So, that's something that shouldn't be public knowledge at all. And so, or there might be medical records that was never presented as evidence, was never seen as relevant to the case, but they have them in their possession. So there's things like that's not supposed to be revealed or gotten out. That's why there's solicitor client privilege, because a lot of the information that you need to have for a case, it has to be relevant to the issues that are brought up in the case, and there's restrictions to it. So it's too much. Like, I don't want to go into a rant about it. It's just like, yes, thank you.
I don't know, sounding kind of lawyerish.
I don't. No, it's paralegal-ish. So, anyways, I don't want to get too into it. It's just I know a lot about, like, the reason that they have those restrictions. So I'm just thinking that maybe the website doesn't allow the AI access for one reason or another. The cases themselves are public record. You could probably find them in other avenues, not on those programs. But then that leaves room for misinformation. They could find they could find cases that don't even exist, which is apparently what happened here. Which I find crazy, actually, that they managed to pull up so many fabricated cases.
Not really, because think about it, it's like, if it's
where
in a
did
story.
that come from?
How about if it's in a story
and it didn't realize.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't think about that. You'd think, but it's supposed to be really smart that it would be able to, like, identify, right?
Yeah, but imagine if it was pulling from, like, House.
From House?
Yeah,
How accurate is House? Have you ever watched House?
I've watched a couple clips on YouTube, but that's about it.
So we're talking about medical. I want to jump into this topic before. I think we should probably jump into our interview with Kevin after.
Oh, shit.
But unless you wanted to throw your curveball.
I'm just going to say this very quickly. Mm-hmm. Sports anime does what Hunter x Hunter does better.
Wow.
In terms of giving
Chopper,
like
you have nothing to
content
say?
and giving background to situations. Hunter x Hunter does it overwinded sometimes, where it's just drawn out and long. Like, there were whole episodes of basically explanations.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Of like what was about to happen. Like, and I mean more than
That
once.
is the worst.
Whole episodes of just explaining 3 seconds.
That's why
Wait,
I
Jordan,
didn't
you have
like.
something to say?
I mean, there was a lot of that, but like I don't think they did it poorly. What the fuck is?
You can say that they didn't do it poorly, but it still is long. Like, that's a lot of, like, and I compared it to Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen has done that in certain chapters where it just feels long. Like, whenever
Yeah,
that
I know.
happens, it's just long.
It's just long.
It's just like,
It's
okay.
so long.
Because if you understand what's going on too, it's just like, okay, I get the explanation.
Yeah.
I don't need all of this.
That's why I didn't like the last season of Attack on Titan, Part 1. Where literally the next episode is like 10 minutes of the last episode.
Oh, I
You
hate
notice that? And I'm like, there's
yeah.
no way you wasted 10 minutes showing clips from the last episode. It's like,
I hate when they do that. Does it even air on TV? Like,
well, the thing is,
do
I feel
they?
like they're trying to milk.
They are.
The show as much as
oh,
possible.
they are.
Because-
why is there a final season part 3?
Yeah, what is happening?
For real this time, for real.
Guys,
season, for
last
real.
one. Last one. Okay, guys. It's over, but we're doing Attack on Titan, the movie, which will have the conclusion, guys.
I swear to God, every time they said it's the last
Season,
season,
it's like
and
part one or
but
part
then
two.
it's not, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I feel like the word season is
I
going to come
literally
up.
just
This one's
stopped
gonna be a
watching,
movie.
and I'm just gonna wait till someone tells me it's done, and then I'm
I
gonna
feel like
finish
the first
it.
season of Part 4 should have been season 4, and then the second part should have been season 5. Why are you marketing as the last season, part
Because
1?
they wanted the hype of it.
Yeah,
the
I-
final
oh my God,
season.
oh my God,
It's about to
season
end, and people are like, anyone who read the manga's like, this
Not
is not
even
enough
close.
episodes. Like, are we cutting stuff out? Are we just going off script here?
They're just gaslighting us.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like, I swear it's the last season, and it's not, and then it keeps going and going.
I feel like Attack on Titan was supposed to be this big, but they felt like they could be this big and started doing stuff to like be like, okay, we're this big, we can do whatever we want, and it just dropped them lower and lower and lower.
But it's
Yeah.
still good. Like, the
okay.
movie, part 1 of the movie that came out like a couple of months ago.
I never watched it.
That was really good.
Oh.
What do you mean part 1 of the movie?
So like, part 3. So part 3.
Yeah, because like I was gonna say, they did do a movie which was terrible.
No, I'm not talking about the. I'm not
I
talking
know,
about
I know.
live action. No,
But
no.
like that's what delayed season 2 apparently was the fact they were working on this movie which was terrible that didn't do
They
anything for
made
their
a
brand.
movie? I
They
didn't
made a
even
movie.
the
watch
live action
it.
one, right?
Yep, live
I've
action.
never.
You
Terrible.
don't want to.
You don't want to.
Remember when they made the live action Dragon Ball Z?
That wasn't Dragon Ball Z. That wasn't Dragon Ball Z.
The worst. Oh my
Yo, Goku in
god.
high school?
hair?
Though? Goku in high
The
school?
hair.
You know
That
what though?
killed
The only
me.
thing worse than Dragon Ball was the live action.
Avatar?
Yep. When
Yes.
he couldn't get the name.
M.
right.
Night Shyamalan screwed it up.
I didn't even
I was
watch it. I
I
surprised.
refused to watch any of his movies for like 5 years.
I know. I
But
stopped
a twist.
after that.
But a twist.
But there's a twist. Okay,
No,
so
no, I boycotted him for 5 years. I was like, nope, no, I'm saying, nope,
I
I
was
don't
so
care.
ong.
Um,
Ong.
oh my
Okay, so I was gonna smoothly segue into the next topic, but you ruined it.
God. Oh, this is smooth.
What?
This is now smooth.
No, it's not, because we were talking about medical stuff, and then I was gonna go into talking about sexual education.
Oh.
Sex ed.
I don't
Remember,
think I should be here.
you
I
should.
need an adult.
Why? What?
He's a child
old are
I need an
of
adult.
God.
You're older than me.
No, he's a child of God.
Okay. Is he a child of you? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
of God.
You said you're God.
I'm a God.
So you're claiming to be his father. Where's the child support?
You're my son now.
Oh my god, and he moves closer.
It's okay, son.
Way to make our guest uncomfortable.
You say he needs
I'm
an
not.
adult.
You're
he
happy
needs
to
an
get a
adult
new
here.
dad?
2 dicks at one time.
Wow.
That was the worst. Let's not do that. All right. Every time we talk about family, you guys press that button. There's a problem going on here. Like
I think you're projecting.
I see you.
I think you're projecting.
I'm
I think
not.
your brain is looking for patterns that aren't
You
really there.
just talked about being his father, and then you guys pressed 2 dicks at one time.
I pressed it.
You pressed it.
Not
You
me.
were complicit.
I'm having
You
fun.
were.
I was complicit. He was.
You was
I
complicit.
know we look alike, but
I didn't know.
it's the headband, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, moving on. So sex education in schools. LGBTQ actually.
I think you're missing a letter.
Plus.
LGBTQ plus. It's like a bunch of letters.
A
Wow.
bunch of.
Squared.
You're
God!
mad at me.
I'm not mad.
No.
You're so mad at me.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Janique about this, because there was a video that she shared, and it was a video of a woman on the news. She was talking about, I think it was like drag queens going into elementary schools, and they were like twerking around and stuff like that. And she was talking about how that was grooming kids. I think that was like the context of it. And so I wanted to get your guys' opinions on it because...
I don't know if I can, dude.
Why? You scared to get canceled?
I don't know if you'll agree or disagree, so...
Well, I'm curious now.
Well, I feel like regardless if you're straight or in the LGBTQ community, I think you should keep all of that away from kids. It doesn't matter.
All?
All of it.
Like, you mean all sex education?
No, that's not sex education. Twerking in front of kids is not sex
No, I know, but I'm saying, so you're saying anything related to someone like twerking or dancing
even if you're straight,
in some kind of suggestive way, right?
I feel like yes. I think
Okay.
it should schools for education, you're learning things. There are things you don't need to teach kids, they'll learn on themselves. You know what I mean? The only thing you could teach kids is respect and love, right? And with that's enough to give somebody enough.
So you mean like teach them to respect other people and their differences? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
you
agree with that.
You don't have to go into the technicalities because they're kids. They're not gonna understand that.
Because right now, the reason I bring it up is because right now there's a huge like controversy of like there's people in the States that want to get rid of books that talk about trans people, right, or things like that. So I think that's why it's good to talk about it because. I do agree to a certain extent that like if there's someone like dancing in a suggestive manner around little kids, like the video I saw was like I think it was like a little much for like little kids, but I don't agree that like they shouldn't learn about trans people or drag queens or like that those books should be taken away. Like I feel like they should learn that these people exist. Like everyone has differences, everyone has different preferences, and they get to an age where they learn at sex ed. I think it was like 8 or 9 when I started learning it. And they never talked about like gay people and obviously never talked about trans when I was younger. So that was stuff that I only learned about on TV.
Well, to be honest, I didn't learn about that stuff either.
Yeah. Well, we're the same age, so like it wasn't really they didn't talk about it back then.
Yeah, but I don't think it made a difference because I'm 32 now. I would respect anybody who respects me.
But a lot of people I grew up with didn't.
Yeah,
I grew up with a lot of people that were
like,
really bigoted.
It doesn't matter if they teach you or not. It's your surroundings that will eventually make.
But I think it's important to learn in school because there are people who are in environments, right? They have parents or people around them who teach them that being gay is wrong or like this kind of stuff. And then when you're in school and they don't talk about it at all, that's basically you're like raised in that with that idea.
Fault, right?
Yeah, but that's the point of school is to give children awareness and to give them the opportunity to choose what they want to believe and then to be given information so that can like they can decide what to do with that information rather than you being in this almost like echo chamber with your parents only teaching you everything and they might not be teaching you like tolerance or understanding other people. I think that like the school should give them the opportunity, right? That's my opinion. Yeah, Jameel, you seemed pained over there.
No,
I mean, you can give opportunity to learn, but you still don't need to twerk in front of kids. That's just my.
So
I know. I'm not saying to do that.
I think as a species right now, well, you know what? Let's go with like, as a culture in North America, I think we are in a phase where we, just human. Bear with me, okay?
Yeah. We'll let you finish. Don't worry. We won't interrupt.
We tend to overdo things
Chopper.
at certain points when just trying to like integrate it. Like we don't know like what's too much or too little, and we tend to like overdo things the first time around. Because even like in media right now, I feel like there was like a big push for black representation, like a massive push, and now it's like it's more common practice now. It's like we don't really bat an eyelash, but now they're on a very big push to have LGBTQ plus representation, or and like
trans representation,
or disability representation. Like they're pushing for just even more representation, but it does feel very forced.
Because people are trying to push it, right? So it's gonna feel forced.
Which I feel like even in school, what they're doing, it feels very forced, and then there is definitely more elegant ways of going about it. But I think it's just as much as it's a system being put in place, the system was made by a human.
Yeah.
And therefore, there's already flaws built into it. And I feel like it's just, we're at a stage where it's important that I think they understand and learn these things, but I think it's just being a bit heavy-handed with the approach.
Like, I agree with you. I think in the way where it's like, when it's education, you should teach them like trans people exist, right? And they shouldn't take away books. Like, if there are books for the kids to be able to read about it, then it should be available to, as long as it's not like explicit, because whether or not it's trans, whether it's even books as a kid that like were romance novels that had like explicit content in it, that was something not made available to kids. Yeah. So I would say the same for anyone else, whether it's LGBTQ plus or trans, like novels with trans people.
You're progressive.
Yeah.
I think the issue with, and just to play devil's advocate, the other side is they believe that any exposure would groom or change or convert.
I don't like that view, because it's like you know, whether they're gonna meet all these people in real life, they're there, they exist, eventually, right? So it's like
they don't need to.
They're trying to like hide it from them, and that in a way that is an agenda, and a school should not have an agenda. A school should not have an agenda. The only thing the school should be thinking of is like not showing something that's explicit.
Oh no, the school definitely has an agenda.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that schools shouldn't, right? Because them having an agenda to push like material that's okay. No. Oh no, sorry. What's up? I thought you guys were like pausing or something.
No, because you were mentioning the thing about the school, and the one thing I disagree with, because I think I seen an article where it's like they were asking students like their sexual preferences and stuff, and I think like,
but they shouldn't do that. That's intrusive.
That is a conversation that should be like had at home, like, you know, like asking kids their sexual preferences and so forth.
Like, that's something they can keep to themselves. I don't agree with anyone asking that, because all you're trying to do is out people, and people have every right to keep their personal lives to themselves, even children. Like, why would a child, like, even as a kid, I wasn't asked, oh, do you like boys? Do you like this? And like, that's not something my teacher would ask me. That would make me very uncomfortable.
It just feels very forced and very excessive what they're doing with the kids and the school.
Yeah, and like, why are you trying to monitor their like preferences as a child? Yeah. It's also like, I definitely agree with you that I don't think that should be a thing in schools, but that's too intrusive. You're actually going to children and asking them personally, like, what do you prefer?
I think there's a difference between that and education, because that crosses a line where it's no longer about education.
Yeah,
it's just that's just weird.
Yeah, it is really. That's like, I would be like, go to my mom and be like, my teacher asked me like my sexual preference, and I'm like 5.
Mom, do I like girls or boys? What?
Well, to be honest, I knew I like girls because of Sailor Moon, but that's just.
Listen, Sailor Moon also confused me at a very young age.
I'm definitely straight when I saw that show.
I think that's what made me question my sexuality as a child.
We're all about the same age. We should not have been watching Sailor Moon.
I had no choice. My cousin was watching them. Like,
yeah, sure, you had no choice.
We had no choice. We were glued to the screen.
We were like,
I'm like, who is that? Wait. Were they transforming? Wait, what's happening?
You're like, what? Is she naked right now?
Okay.
I love how like they had her like naked silhouette, like a rainbow naked silhouette.
I knew I was straight as soon as I saw it.
You're like, I like that. I like that. As for me, I was extremely confused. Everyone on the screen, I was like, I like them. I like that. I like that.
I just like both.
I like all of them. What's up?
I just find it funny that as a child, I would get paged by the elders for watching Sailor Moon.
You got paid?
Paged, yeah. Meanwhile, it's like these they're naked every episode. Like, what are you telling me? There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
You know, it's funny when you think about it. Like when guys would get shit for watching that stuff, like watching shows that like focus around women. I'm like, why wouldn't they if they're straight men? Like, you know, you'd kind of want to watch that, right? Like, you're questioning their sexuality. I mean, I know also gay people like Sailor Moon, but, you know.
Yeah.
I think everyone should like Sailor Moon. It's a good show. I don't think it
What?
matters.
I think I want to rewatch it because
too.
when I watched it, I
Well,
could
watch
not
the
appreciate.
remake.
I know I want to.
There's a
Crystal.
remake?
Yeah, Sailor Moon Crystal.
How recent is that?
Yeah, it was like last year?
4 years, I think, maybe.
Oh, really?
It's on Netflix now, so it had to be a little while.
Yeah, probably. I don't know when it was released, but I saw it go on Netflix like last year or something.
It's at least 4 years old because I think I remember when it hit Crunchyroll.
Actually, fun fact, did you know that Sailor Moon is the top, or I think it's like the #1 anime with the most fillers because 50% are fillers. Like 50% of the anime is filler. Because there's 100 episodes and only 50 of them are canon. So, because you know what they do? They had episodes that were like Monster of the Day episodes, you know? Where like, I don't know if it was like the story was not finished or maybe they were milking it because it was popular, but they would have like a Monster of the Day episode in between when the story would start again. And I remember that because I remember I would get so frustrated as a kid where it's like, I think it was something with like, in English they called him Darien. I know he's like Mamoru or something in Japanese, but
Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah, Tuxedo Mask. I remember when he like lost his memory, there was like the longest filler gap, and I was like, "What are you fucking doing to me, guys?" Like, I was like, "I want to know what happens." And it was so frustrating. But yeah, it is like one of the #1 with filler. But apparently you can like just skip all of them and like be able to shorten.
There's a map.
There is a map online, and actually. Jacques just told me about this. Apparently someone literally made almost like a Naruto version of, you know how they made Dragon Ball Z Kai? Mm-hmm. They made like a Naruto Kai.
Yeah, someone made it for their girlfriend.
Yeah, so like I really, really want to actually watch that because...
I think it's called the Ocean Cut.
Yeah, I think we're gonna watch that because I keep telling John, like, every time I try to get back to Shippuden, it feels so long.
Shippuden
so
too, though.
long.
I know we kind of talked about this earlier, but Shippuden also was terrible with fillers. I never watched it. A lot of the time when I get into an anime, I'm like, screw it, I'm switching over to the manga.
I think I watched like the first 2 seasons in general because like I watched the first season, I watched the second season recently, like a couple years ago. I'm like, I'm gonna finish this. I gotta finish it. And it was so long.
Yeah.
And Jacques told me he said you kind of have to bear with it till it gets to the pain arc. That's what you told me.
So much fillers. And
yeah.
even
That's what I did for Game of Thrones. Like, I got tired of the show and just started reading a book. I'm like,
I'm gonna do the summary.
The book didn't even finish. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm so mad. I'm like,
you read it. You're like, I'm gonna find out what happens. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the summary.
Yeah.
Finish it in 25 minutes.
You should listen to the audiobooks. They're not bad. They're not bad.
Okay, so now we're gonna get to the official interview with Kevin. Why?
Okay.
You're done?
Okay.
Are we done with the school topic?
Okay, before we move on.
Oh, did you want to say something about that? Yeah, what's up?
Well, you mentioned like an overrepresentation of black people in movies and culture. Do you feel like there is, or do you care if there is?
Sometimes I do, to be honest, and I know that's kind of controversial, but sometimes it does feel extremely forced.
But do you care if there is representation for you or no?
I think it's nice to have the representation. I think representation is important.
Yeah.
But it needs to be done.
Eloquently?
I think, when you just do it before the character,
like
when you want their identity to be
their character, that's kind of weird.
It's weird, and it comes off as like.
That's the major.
You know, they do that a lot with autistic characters. Like this is something that's talked about a lot. I know a lot of people will feel uncomfortable talking about it. I'm going to talk about it. I don't care. So, no, because like the moment I say autism, I feel like everyone just like shuts down. But like autistic characters in every show I've watched, in the more recent ones, there are a lot of better examples. I haven't watched the shows, but I've seen them posted. But even the show Atypical apparently wasn't the best representation. It got better, but it wasn't the best. The character always is like their personality is just they have autism, and it's always stereotypes. And it's like it's always this story is focused on the fact that they have autism. Like it would be like if for example, they made a show and it just focuses on the fact that they're black, which I know I wouldn't be able to give a good example, but it's like if you want a show that actually has good reputation, you want representation. Sorry, you want the character to be like a person, like living their everyday life, not like normal, but like
a good example of that would be. I was gonna say Toph from Avatar.
Yeah.
Like her being blind was never like her having a disability was never like
her character.
Her character.
Yeah.
She was badass. despite her disability, like it was like it never held her back in any way. It was never like, oh my god, she's black.
I think when it comes to disability, it's like there's always the two extremes though, because it's like it's either it's a character that is like cool, badass, like even though like and despite their disability, but it's like. But with Toph, it was like most blind people, they don't feel the vibrations in the ground and like have powers, right? Right, but it's like it's not. They try to make it almost like it's a superpower, or it goes the opposite, where it's like they're just showing the struggles and the whole focus of it is like, let's say, the autism, and they not really feel like a well-developed character. But then you look at characters like, I'll give a good example that a lot of people say she shows autistic traits is Jessica Day in New Girl. She very much is like autistic coded in terms of like her person, but no one focuses on that. No one talks about that, and it's not like the focus of the show. It's basically you're seeing like an undiagnosed autistic person living their life. So and I think that's the thing is like if you have representation for whether it's your race or your disability or whatever, you don't want it to be that like this show is about your struggles with this disability and that's all it is, or your struggles with being black and that's all it is. You want it to feel like, or being a.
That's why I like Arcane, because they made
Arcane's great,
gay, a strong woman, but
badass.
That's not her identity. Her identity is that
you don't even know until she just starts flirting with the girl, and you're like, ooh.
That's why I love.
I mean, you kind of knew from the get-go. You're like,
that's you being judgmental.
No,
that was you.
Jordan has some question.
Oh, sorry. What's up?
I think they make reference of it in the game lore.
Oh, so you would know.
Yeah, I knew that. Just
I never played the game. I never played the game, so I didn't know. So I just like watched it, and they did a good job of just not being like super focused on that. It's just like she's just a literal person, and then all of a sudden she's attracted to a woman, and then they make it so like natural. And I like that.
I love that shit.
Yeah, but I hate when they're like you said, when they're really pushing.
I felt
the
Dragon Prince. I'm calling that show
I started watching it.
It felt so forced.
And I saw that it was rated so highly.
Wait, what's Dragon Prince?
It's a show on Netflix.
Is it live action or is it a...
No,
cartoon?
It's
like
animated.
Mm-hmm.
It's animated. I'm pretty sure it's North American animated, so it's like CGI. And it's just so forced. And I tried to give it a buy. I think I made it through the first season. And the second season, when they're... So... give you a quick little description. The main two characters are stepbrothers. One's black, one's white. Because the dad remarried, so you have a black and a white kid who are now brothers and sisters.
Stepbrothers or half brothers?
Stepbrothers.
Okay.
Yeah. Just through marriage.
Okay.
That's
important.
One's fully black. One is like light skin black. He's black, and the other one's white. The other one's straight white, not a lick of black. And you get different representation, because I think the elf is something else. There's racist or stuff like that. And then season 2 started, and their aunt so happens to be deaf, I think. Okay. Yeah, their aunt is deaf and is a warrior. And I was just like, there's too much representation. I was just like, it feels so forced.
Too much.
Yeah, because it just felt forced. It just felt like...
turn you off like that.
It felt like they're like, accept different people, and I'm like, God, I do, but like...
That's why I like League of Legends, because they make characters that are diverse, but that's not their identity. You know what I mean? Sure, one person's black, one person's white, or one person's like brown, but they don't force that down your throat. Kind of thing. They just happen to be.
So what would you consider, like, if you could give an example of something being like shoved down your throat about it? Like, what makes you feel that way when you watch a show specifically?
Watching 1 second, John. Watching what's that, Loki, where the main character is actually female Loki.
Wait, what? I never watched Loki. So wait, what's going on?
Loki has different variants.
Okay.
And one of the variants is a female
variant,
and she happens to be stronger than the actual Loki. Kind of thing, where it's like.
And do they like make comments about it and stuff?
And then there's one episode where literally Loki was stuck in a loop, and it was just one chick kicking his nuts every single time. Every time it was back to the loop. I'm not sure you saw the episode. I always like, there's no way this is it. There's no way.
You know what though? Marvel very much has an agenda.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Marvel TV shows are extremely bad.
I thought you were gonna go like somewhere deep, and you're just like they're extremely bad.
No, they're bad. Like as much as I wanted to be a fan of them, I pretty much stopped watching.
Lost interest.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched The Last Guardians.
I haven't watched
I
the
did, I
newer.
watched it.
Honestly, anything new. But do you think that is really that they're like that it's not good, or do you think it's a generational thing? Because sometimes
not
I
good.
feel like sometimes I feel like though like you know when you hear people older than us, they're always saying that their shit was better and ours is garbage.
No. Our shit really was good. We had like the peak of like television. We grew up with like peak television.
Like I know, but sometimes I wonder
Game
if
of
we're
Thrones,
just
Walking
delusional because we're just like thinking about how good it was to us at the time when we were younger, and now we're sick of or bored or don't relate with the current stuff. Whereas maybe for younger people, it's.
I think it's really bad. Like the new stuff is really
But it's
bad.
also saturated. It's super saturated too.
It is.
There's so much of it.
But it is a lot of it's bad. Like, no, it's honest. Maybe it's because it's so saturated, but a lot of it is bad. Like Marvel.
But you
in
guys just said the
particular,
new Spider-Man's really good.
That's different. It's not part of the.
But it's
MCU.
Marvel.
It's not part of MCU though.
It's not
Oh, you're
MCU.
talking about MCU. Oh, MCU. I was always just like.
The MCU, like Spider-Man is, yeah, okay. The MCU shows
No.
are bad.
The only one I kind of liked was WandaVision, because it was like really
Different.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then it ended up being. I don't even want to spoil how it ended, but like basically it's just like girl power at the end kind of thing.
Girl power!
And I'm
They did
like-
that in Sailor Moon too, though, at the end.
But that's like all of the TV shows almost.
Yeah, that's.
So did you guys like the end of Sailor Moon then, when they went all
I
girl
don't
girl
remember.
power?
I don't
Barely
remember.
remember.
I don't remember.
Do you want me to tell you?
No.
Wow.
I do plan
It was
to
like one of
watch
the best endings ever.
I do.
It was a
You know
great
what, though?
ending.
Actually, I'm getting flashbacks in my head, and I kind of remember her having her staff and like there's like a laser battle.
And all their spirits appear
And help
because
her
they're all
hold her back.
dead.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I
Yeah.
can remember now too.
They're all
Yeah, it's
dead,
come back.
and then when she like
Yeah,
beats
that was
them,
so
they're all
sad.
reincarnated after.
I
Yeah,
remember.
and they
I
don't
do.
remember each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they forgot each other. It's very sad.
Jacques, you guys want to say? You forgot?
It's too late now. What's up?
So we have gone beyond an hour and a half. How do you guys feel?
I think we gotta interview you. I mean, we can do it short. We can do it short, and I wasn't really gonna like. We pretty much kind of already did it throughout. But one thing I did want to ask you was like, what made you want to get into photography and specifically photographing cosplayers?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I'll try to cut it down.
You don't have to. Just like it's your time to talk. So
Whole
tell the
story?
whole story. Yeah.
Okay, so I
Do
was.
you sort of tell the whole story and nothing but the whole story? So help me God.
I mean,
So help me.
Why are you stressing them out?
I'll try my best to keep it on point.
No, you don't have to. It's okay. Just ignore him. Go on.
Right. Well, it started back when I was in college. I was in college for media arts. I was
Cool.
I was trying to be like a filmmaker kind of thing, but I felt like paying $5 to $10 a year, and learning stuff that I could learn in Wikipedia and Google. Like they're telling me stuff on like how to make film from 1920s, 1940s. Like I don't care. Right? And I'm paying $5 to $10 a year.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And what was good about the program was the last year was they put you into co-op, so you actually get in the field and you get experience, you network. But that's the fourth year, so it's like I'm already $40K in debt by then. I don't think it's worth it. But during that time, I was a huge gamer. I played StarCraft 2. Have you played it before or no?
But
Was that the newer one?
No.
It was
You
the
play
older
some-
one. Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
play the original. My brother played it too. But I don't think I don't know if I played the second one.
But I was really good in StarCraft 2, and I didn't own a PC. I would literally go to one of the editing rooms, download the game every single time, because once you log out, it deletes everything. So I'm doing 8 p.m., downloading the game and then playing, and I got really good to the point where I got scouted by a team.
Ooh.
And then the team
You were a
kind
pro
of...
gamer.
Yeah, basic StarCraft. And then they would,
semi-pro.
they would fly me to like locations
pro.
in Korea.
You went to
play-
Korea?
Yeah, play, yeah.
Bro,
also-
I didn't know
okay,
this.
pro.
Europe. But the thing is, I was good in North America, but the infrastructure in Korea and Europe, there's more, they take gaming more seriously. And I was getting obliterated while competing there. And then to the point where I just didn't want to compete anymore because I would be really anxious. And to be honest, I went to like hang out with, girls, And then I'd sleep late, wake up late, and then I just didn't want to compete.
Oh,
So
man.
my friend, he was like, I wouldn't say like he's really well off, but he made his own company where he's like trying to look for people to take photos and videos of the StarCraft 2 community. And I told him, like, yo, I used to be in school for media. Like, I could take your videos and photos for you. So I would still be traveling to these locations and tournaments, but I wouldn't be competing. I would be recording, interviewing, taking photos of people. So I kind of had that background already. And then StarCraft 2 pretty much died within a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried to, like, move on, you know, games like League of Legends, but I wasn't really a team player, so I couldn't really climb in League of Legends because I tilt to the face of the earth, especially when people blame me for their mistakes. So I'm just like
You're
chilling.
like, I'm not the weakest. Like, hit the green button.
Basically.
Oh my god.
But my friend was like, oh, you know, you're trying to, because I'm trying to find something to do on the side, you know, just because I was bored. And he mentioned, why don't you go to, like, cosplay events, you know? And because he told me, he's like, you already took videos and photos of gamers, why not do it of, like, cosplayers? And I thought to myself, like, that's not a bad idea, because at the end of the day, if you're gaming and you're playing or watching anime, you're going to be exposed to the cosplay community. Right?
Yeah, a lot of people dress up as, like, video game characters.
Yeah. So
too.
they come hand in hand. So I kind of, like, felt like a lot of people in the community I kind of found a lot of interest, and I felt at home with them, right? But then I started taking photos and videos, and I realized that the people within my area, they're not the greatest at taking photos and videos. So I'm like, and then I kind of thought myself,
Shade.
I'll show them how it's done, or the way I would do things, and people agreed that they like my stuff better. So then they started hiring me, like paying me to do their photos and videos, and to the point where I just wanted to make music videos as well. Because I'm mostly, I don't want to call myself a photographer. I'm mostly a videographer because I prefer taking videos.
Well, that's what you wanted to do originally, right?
Yeah. I don't mind photos because people would pay for photos, but not many people want to pay for a video because that's kind of expensive. And at the same time, taking videos is a lot more strain on me and a lot more time consuming. And I don't want to be going to cons every 2 months being exhausted.
Yeah.
I used to, and I no longer want to do that. So that's why I've been taking a lot of photos lately.
Okay.
But yeah, so I pretty much do that, and then I met a lot of cool people, and now I'm here because I met you from.
Yeah, we're gonna bleep that out because we call him Z here.
Sorry. I met you from
okay.
Z.
It's okay, I'll bleep him out.
And yeah, so
When you do the bleep, can you do the dolphin one?
Okay, I'll try to remember. Just message me and I'll try to remember.
You'll hear it at this point and then be like, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll remember.
yeah, I just got back from Anime North, and
I know I was supposed to go.
It was a lot of fun this year.
Did you do the rave? Like,
I don't do. Okay, so the reason why I don't do raves at anime
thinking of
conventions is because you'll have the DJ popping off, you know, dropping a beat, and then you have socially awkward cosplayers
trying to dance to
just
it.
on their phones, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're on a rave.
The last time,
without fail, every rave does that.
The last time I saw an Anime North rave was when I was in high school, because I didn't see them ever again. I don't know where they hold them now, but they used to hold them like outside.
Yeah, at the stage, there's like a stage.
Yeah, and everyone was dancing. And but in high school though, like it was like heavy raver communities like everywhere at the time.
But now it's people on the phones generation.
So they're just on their. Why are you going to the rave? Why'd you
That's
pay to
what
be
I'm saying.
here?
I'm like, I can't.
Be
I
on
can
your
vibe
phone
to
at
this.
home.
I can vibe to this. So like, that's why I never go to raves anymore when it comes to like conventions.
That's pretty sad. That makes
They
me
have
sad.
They have a lot of raves too.
You know, you hear old people making fun of young people on their phones and shit, and then I hear this and I'm like, it's true.
And, yeah, I feel bad for
do
the DJ.
it.
Like the DJ's literally popping off, like dropping the bass,
like
going hard.
dance guys.
And then they're just guys like and girls, just whatever.
I feel like we were told like you're on your phone too much, and now the generation before us is on their phone even more.
Because you know why? Do you see when parents are like people are like making jokes? Parents are like, "Can you please leave me alone? Like, stay on your tablet." Like they basically give the kid a tablet, and they're like, "Don't talk to me anymore." I think that's why. I know it is.
Well, like,
yeah.
I think that does definitely play a part because you condition them to like do that.
Yeah.
But even like, I had an experience recently where I'm like yelling at my kids, being like, "Get off your tablet."
So you do have kids.
Wait, hold on. Should we bleep that out?
Everyone was gaslighting me on this last episode, guys.
I have a kid right here.
Not a lawyer.
Why? That's not even relevant. Okay, wait, this is relevant.
Fact check that.
In Z's words. Guys, like, let the record show.
I have a kid right here. She just want me to clean.
Yeah, and you yell at Kevin to be off his phone. You guys just became father and son today.
Yes.
This never happened. We're on camera.
Hold on.
It's
And you
just
don't think I've
you're
had to
making
yell at him to get off his phone?
Not once this whole time.
You were in the bathroom. You
were-
don't even know.
I was on my
Did
phone,
it happen,
and
Jacques?
he got annoyed at me.
Yeah, see, Jacques shook
Jacques
his
is high
head.
as hell. He doesn't
Yeah,
know what's
oh
going
my
on.
god, don't out him on camera. Live. It's okay. Anyways, moving on. I was right! Alex! Okay, sorry, he's not here to defend
You think
himself.
so? Okay. I got people.
Sorry, go on, you and your kid.
And yeah, just yelling at them, being like, "Get off your tablet! Get off your tablet!" They're like, I'm like, yeah. I start calling them zombies.
Oh my god. They kind of are when they're just like stuck on their
Actually,
phone.
yeah.
My
It's kinda
parents,
embarrassing.
my mom used to always scream at me. If I was wearing headphones, she'd scream at me to take them off. Whenever I was on my phone, she'd scream at me to stop. She would always be yelling at me to stop using my electronics. So I agree with you. I definitely think I was like conditioned to like not constantly be on my electronics.
Yeah, especially at a rave. Like,
That's so weird.
I think what's more important is like when to socially know when is appropriate time to use your device.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like parties, not an appropriate time.
No.
I don't even think concerts are that appropriate, to be honest.
Well, if you're recording, maybe.
Nah,
Not
no,
even?
because then
I
you
think
get
it's
like
better to be-
5,000 people going like this.
Yeah.
Like just enjoy the music.
I think I do it sometimes when there's like a really, really cool thing that I want to like keep in my like memory, but I'll do it for like 10 seconds and save that as a clip, and then I'll keep like dancing to the music, because it's like you're there for the experience, you're there
Yeah.
for the live, like feeling connected to people, connected to the music, right? Why go to a concert if you're just gonna stand there on your phone the whole time?
Just be like this the whole time.
And you paid money to be there, like it's
Yeah.
cost money.
You have to pay to get into the rave. too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, guys, look, I'm in the concert.
I mean, I'm kind of guilty of that, but not when I'm I've never been in a concert before in my life, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, like, Bless
Never
the
been.
Fall's coming. Let's go!
Which one?
Bless the Fall are my favorite band. I don't know if you'd like, I don't know what music you listen to,
I
to be
like
honest.
music in general.
You like metalcore or post-hardcore? Okay, so you'll like them. They're really good. They're coming in August. Guys, we should all go together. I sent the invite out to you all. Chopper said he would
I'll
come.
think about it. I'll sleep.
I
on it.
probably
You said you'd come.
I'll sleep on it.
Jordan's coming for sure. I bought you a ticket. You have no say. Jacques is coming.
I'm not going no more then.
Why? Don't you want Jacques there?
You didn't buy me a ticket.
Why would I buy you a ticket?
I thought it was your friend.
I bought him a ticket because he was supposed to go with me like 2 times in high school and
You
didn't.
don't have to explain yourself.
Yeah, we canceled that explanation.
Anyways, I want it on the record.
On the.
Okay, so those music videos that you have on your page, you made all of those, right?
Yeah, I filmed and edited everything. I didn't obviously make the music.
Yeah,
I
you
picked
just
something I
added
liked,
it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen your photos, and he did photos of me. I don't know if you guys have seen the photos of me as the Silent Hill nurse, which I'm gonna put up here when I edit this video.
I did see those.
Yeah, and he edited them and
Very
added the fog and everything. So we were taking that picture behind my building at the dumpster area, which is great because it looks really like what's the word, like grungy and gross. And then he added the mist to it, and like it was funny actually. I think I don't know if I told you this, Kevin, but like I had a syringe filled with blood as like my prop, right?
kept dripping
And the
everywhere.
cap fell off, and I didn't notice, and it dripped all through my hallway to the back of the building. And it was just pool of like fake blood. Of course, it was Halloween, so if anyone saw it, they probably would have assumed it was a Halloween thing. But you know, when I saw it, I was drunk, and I was like, whatever, I'll deal with that tomorrow. And then the next day, it rained and washed it all away. And I got away with it.
How you said that definitely brought back memories of like the Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Wait, what do you mean?
You're like, and washed it all away, and I'm
Washed it all away.
Itsy Spider.
Oh my god, that kind of looks like a butterfly. Remember when they used to do that? I'm like, this literally looks like a This is what people do for the butterfly. And they're like the itsy bitsy spider.
I think the butterfly's more of a flap, or the Itsy Bitsy Spider's more crawly.
I don't know, whatever. Same thing. Same difference. Okay, yeah, so you do the music videos, so that's pretty cool. One thing I was going to ask you too before was, you were mentioning StarCraft. Have you seen any people like cosplay as like StarCraft characters in your experience?
I used to see a lot of Kerrigan.
Oh.
But that's really hard to pull off because the
Yeah.
hair, the makeup.
Yeah.
And then I saw Nova a couple times, which is just like a blonde version of Kerrigan.
Can I also ask after?
Sorry.
Why did the community die? Like, why did the
Yeah.
game
What
die?
did you?
Okay, so blame Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard fucked a lot of
So basically, a new game was coming up called League of Legends, and people that played StarCraft 2 would obviously like League of Legends as well because they're not the same game, but like you pretty much have the same view. Asymmetric.
It's got some like aspects.
And
Yeah.
the thing about League of Legends that StarCraft 2 players like is that there's casual modes and there's skins. You can customize your character. But then they asked Blizzard, can you implement that in this game? And Blizzard basically said, if you don't want to play a game, play something else.
Did you ever play like the newer StarCrafts? Like, were they any better?
There's only StarCraft 2 and then the 2 expansions.
So
Felt like they
they
had,
basically kind of gave up on StarCraft.
No,
They're
they were at the top, so they thought they'll stay at the top, so they didn't want to listen to the community. They're like, oh no.
That's how you lose people.
They're like, they wanted skins. There's no whatever. You want to play casual games because back then the moment you play StarCraft 2, there's no normal game. You automatically play ranked, and nobody wants to play ranked, by the way. Especially if there's new builds you want to play or try out.
You test things.
Yeah.
You want to play casually? You can't. You have to have your rank on the line. And then they wanted Blizzard, but like, can you put like a casual, mode? They're like, nah, play something else.
So they just ignored basically.
Yeah,
all
and
the
then
fans.
literally within a year or two, everybody just jumped ship and
I
started.
mean, I'm not
playing League of Legends.
surprised. Like it's.
That happens a lot with companies or game companies. I feel.
I noticed that. I noticed that like I don't know. It's a little better like nowadays. I think maybe companies are no really okay. Well, the only reason I say that is because like for example, Elder Scrolls Online, right? I feel like they really listen to the community because every time I was annoyed by something or complained about something, within like 6 months, they would implement a change to fix that.
That's probably why they're still around.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like it's been such a long running like MMO and
they listen to the community.
Yeah, and I like that because it's like I would stop playing. I'd be like so fed up with their system because when I heard how vanilla like ESO was when it first came out,
I played it. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Like the difficulty to on its own get the weapons that I need with the trait that I need, and you couldn't change the trait originally, and there were several traits. So it's like you would basically repeat a dungeon millions of times, and you finally get the weapon you need, but it doesn't have the trait, so you have to do it again millions of times, and then sometimes you'll get the weapon with the same trait, and it's like you spend like months trying to get this weapon.
It's designed that way to make you play more, but
I know, but it gets to a point where it's like they've made enough expansions and areas and like kind of nerfed some areas where it's like okay, now they have to give us the option to because and then they implemented the fact that you could change the trait, right? So you have to like work for it, but you can still do it. So it's they did a lot of that. And then another thing they did was I remember they implemented I remember I used to talk about how I don't want to make a new character every time I want a new build, right? Because it takes so long. So they introduced being able to have multiple builds. And then when you had multiple builds, some of the builds needed a different, I forgot what it's called, the stone that you can choose, like the thief or the whatever, where it gives you certain like boosts or traits. Sorry, what was it called? What are they called again? I forgot. Those stones. No.
No.
I forgot. No, it was
Infinity
No. Fuck, what were they called? Yeah, and when you touch them, it gives you the there was like the thief, the magician or something. I don't remember what else. Like the bunch of other ones, the lover, and they're supposed to be constellations, and they give you specific buffs, and so you can only have one, right? And then you can switch it like with another stone. But then when you did the builds, it would keep the same trait, and so if you switched your build, you'd have to go all the way and change it. And then they implemented it that the trait that you like, basically the stone that you saved on that build would be saved every time you switched over. So shit like that like people would complain about, and they'd like fix it pretty quickly.
Would make sense. So a game I played that struggles listening to the community. I don't play it anymore. I still have it downloaded, so that's something. Every now and then I'll get kind of bored and play it maybe for like a day or two. Is Clash Royale.
Oh no.
Standing stones? I don't remember them being called that. Are they really?
Clash Royale, the mobile game?
Yeah.
No way.
I was
I
really
never-
like I was heavily.
I think I played that for a little bit.
I might say I was addicted. Like
It was pretty fun
How much
for a
did you
bit.
spend on it?
Regularly or like.
Oh my, right? In general, like you don't have to answer.
Okay, no, I can
This is-
say
this
I can
is
say
me with
that I
a
was
baby.
buying a season pass. So I think at first I was putting a bit of money into it because I realized at first there was no way to do free to play.
Yeah.
So I would spend maybe like $20 to 25
Every month.
every month for maybe 6 months until I got close to being mad. Because I was also good. I was decent. Let me say this: I was decent.
At Clash Royale.
Yeah, I consider myself.
I'm a god.
Okay.
Like I was good. I'm good.
Okay.
So I ended up eventually going more to free to play, and then when they introduced the season pass, I'm like, all right, the benefits are kind of worth it. So I started doing the season pass every month, and maybe once in a while I buy an offer in the store. So on annually, it was probably like maybe $150 a month.
That's.
I'm sorry, not a month. Sorry, not a
year?
month. A year.
Okay, that's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
I spend like $30 a month on Obey Me and the sequel. I have no shame. It's a great game.
I just spent
It's
120 on
amazing.
Diablo 4.
See, and like, the way I justify it was like if it was like a
It's
PC
great.
game
It
or
was a
something else,
great
you would pay
game.
this over time.
It was probably the best phone game I've ever played. It's a lot. It's like I'm in an anime. I don't care what anybody says. It's good. There's
What's it
thousands.
called?
Obey Me.
Obey Me.
You're basically someone who has to make pacts with demons, and once you have a pact with them, then they
like
have
you
to
can try it.
obey you,
Okay.
right? There's a new sequel where it's like I think I've shown you. It's like those like Tap Tap Revolution where you tap to the beat of the music, and it has something like that, but it has your characters, and it's so intense, dude, and it's actually really fun. So it's good. And it has a story and everything,
Well,
but I love it.
Clash Royale went downhill and has continued just to go downhill. Did you play?
I've never played it, but I see ads on it often.
Okay.
I know. I used to always
And
get the ads.
It was really good for a long time, and it's
First
just
season,
We're
the
talking about a
first
game.
season?
just get.
There's a season to the
there,
game?
there are seasons now, but I
Oh.
think even before that it was bad. It like when the
Can we pause for just one quick?
We're actually almost into 2 hours.
Okay, so after you finish the Clash thing, I'll ask Kevin one more question, and then we'll end it off.
okay. Just put that underneath that.
Yeah, I will, because we're almost finished.
Yeah, and they had clan wars, which were kind of like not a clan event, and they decided to introduce like a new clan war system, which was terrible. It still just wasn't the mark, but it was an improvement from the original one. But fans weren't happy with that either, so they introduced a new one, which was the worst. And I think that's still the system in place now, like the Clan War 2 system. I think it could be Clan War
It's always
3.
sad when like a game you really like starts to go downhill.
Yeah, and I stuck with it.
Did it
through-
really? Overwatch 2?
Oh, it got. It's people are pissed off because
really?
the only reason why they made it Overwatch 2 was to implement a PvE campaign.
Okay.
So that's the selling point. And then Blizzard was like, oh, by the way, you guys bought all these copies of Overwatch 2. We're no longer doing the PvE. So the whole point of Overwatch 2...
So it was like literally
It
one
was
of
a lie.
It was a bait and switch.
Yeah,
They were like,
basically.
"Oh, you can play PvE," and then you bought it, and they were like, "No, you can't."
We're like, oh, the PvE is coming out
Yeah, yeah.
later down the line,
Oh my god! It's like, dude, release a finished game if that's what you're gonna do.
And that's what...
I hate when they do that
So
shit.
StarCraft 2 and Overwatch are gonna die.
It's like when Star Wars Battlefront came out and you couldn't access like half the game, and they were like,
You have
"Oh,
to
buy
pay
the
for it.
season's pass to get the rest of the game."
I feel like mobile games are notorious for that. But
That's true, yeah.
I feel like gaming companies specifically need to realize you can't monetize every idea in your game. Like, release a good game and then figure a way to...
Do it fairly, at least.
Yeah, but, like, have elements you can monetize after. Like, I don't like competitive games that you get an edge if you buy
Pay
into
to
it.
win.
Yeah, like,
Pay to
pay to
win,
win's
yeah.
not fair. It's not
bullshit.
fun.
I know. They do that a lot in mobile games. That's why I end up quitting them a lot.
mobile games are notorious for that.
What's up?
Like I would pay money for like skins or something that I'm really interested in, but like don't give me like some like cheap shit that skyrockets my
Like, it should be something that's like, yeah, like maybe it could give you like a bit of a boost, or maybe it might help you out,
skip
but it
that.
shouldn't be like you literally have to buy this to
That's
be
what
able.
happened in Diablo Immortal. Some guy
Yeah.
spent hundreds of thousands of dollars at a game, and he couldn't matchmake with anybody because he was too powerful. So that was literally his fault.
Was that it's unfair.
It's his fault. He paid so much to win.
That's poor game design.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to get to that point. They shouldn't allow that, you know? What's up?
Maybe if they like, if you do purchase any kind of boost, they
Yeah.
But this, I guess, what really does go into like
Marketing.
not just marketing, but like
Monetization.
monetization, like how you plan to monetize a game, and like how can you do it fairly.
Skins are good. I don't. They're not gonna change how the game is.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna make I play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh. The
and
online or the actual?
I play physical cards,
okay.
and it's kind of the same. Where like the company does things to monetize packs. So there is like you do get an edge if you do buy certain cards, and really and truly, it's like
Whoa. Was that my orange juice?
Probably.
Sorry.
you do need to essentially pay to win, sort of like, and it's not even guaranteed, but it definitely increases your odds.
That's true.
I want to ask this before we get too derailed. But I did want to ask you one question just in case we hit the mark. So it's like a two-sided question. So is being like a videographer and like continuing the cosplay photos like a main goal of yours? And on top of that, was cosplay something that you do regularly or you like to do? And if not, would you like to do it?
So I'm just winging it right now. I'm enjoying myself, especially since I found a partner who's into it too. So it's more fun that way.
Yeah.
So if I get more like people asking to do their photos, I'll do them. But I'm not gonna go out my way to try to get new clients anymore because I don't really care enough. And would I ever do cosplay? I borrowed my friend's cosplay once, and I wore it for an hour, and I tore it off. It was literally the most uncomfortable thing. I don't know how people do it for hours.
If you got a comfortable cosplay, would it be
might.
something that you
I
might do?
I might.
Because I feel like there's some anime characters you could cosplay as that are very minimal. Like, I cosplayed as casual Mion from Higurashi no Nakukorni, the horror, like old horror anime. And she literally has a yellow t-shirt, jeans, like a white hoodie wrapped around, and all I needed was like the green ponytail wig, and it was like that was my cosplay, and I was totally comfortable the whole day. So you could probably find like a really comfortable cosplay.
But at the same time,
Some of them are too intense.
I'd rather be behind the camera than in front of it, kind of thing.
Okay, so you don't really like the spotlight. You just
No,
like
not really.
like taking pictures of people who
Because
like
I feel like I could do a better job than most people. That's just my opinion.
as a cosplayer.
As a photographer.
Oh, okay.
Even though
I was like, wait,
even though I don't consider myself a photographer.
Oh, okay. Well,
There
that's
are
good.
people who literally take photos and they bring their whole setup, lights and everything, and it looks like a photo taken from like a Motorola Razr.
To be honest, that's true.
It's
like
so
I've
bad.
had photos taken of me by professional photographers, and I'm literally like, did you take this from like a 2008 BlackBerry? Like,
Before your phone, and I wasn't looking and snapped the picture.
it's like the lighting is like I look like my face has not ever looked that swollen in my
Oh my
life.
God.
Like what?
Close up.
Literally, like I don't think my face is that swollen.
And I don't think I'm that good either. I just feel like
Everyone else is just that bad?
I put more effort into
Yeah.
my photos, while people that just click and then they call themselves a photographer. I'm like, no, that's
You're like a perfectionist, I guess.
yeah.
Or
And I'm like, you're a person with a camera. Doesn't make you a photographer. That's why I hate the word photographer, and that's why I would rather.
you feel like it's like thrown around too easily. I guess. Yeah.
Because there are amazing photographers, actual photographers that have amazing work, and you have people who literally just click a camera.
And they're like, I'm a
and then-
photographer now.
And I'm like, you're not the same as this person. That's just me.
I guess like because like the way that I would see a photographer is like someone who understands how the lighting should be, like the certain angles and like what complements a person better. Because like if I get a professional photographer where like I look amazing in the photos, like better than in real life, I'd be like, you're great. But
And
then
that's
like
what I strive to do. I always try to make the person look as good as possible. maybe they might have like a rounder face, so I'll be like, okay, maybe turn your head this way, then look this
Like,
way,
and get a better
so it makes
angle.
your face look more sharper,
Yeah,
kind
because
of thing.
sometimes I'll have like a professional photographer. They're like just taking full straight on pictures of me, and in all honesty, straight on pictures of me the worst angle. It always looks like a mugshot instead of different like I feel like other angles of my face look better, and so I end up looking like just.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't seem like they try. They just do it because they think they can. I mean, they can do it, but then I feel like if you want to do it, at least try.
They're more like mechanical about it, I guess. They're just like, okay, we have it set up. They're not really paying attention to how the person looks, and then they go.
I pay attention really a lot on that.
Guys, check out his pictures.
To the point where I feel
Link
like
down below.
And
I feel
pictures
like
here.
I annoy people sometimes because I'm like, no, you turn your head more towards me. Now you rotate
No, you
your
did
body
that
left.
with me.
Yeah.
He did that with me. He was like, he even came up and he was like shifting my arms, and I was like, do it, good, do it, because like the pictures turned out amazing. Because sometimes, like I actually get annoyed when I pose for a picture and no one tells me that like there. My friend, there was this enormous, I don't know what it was, pond skipper like mosquito on my leg in every photo. She took, and she didn't tell me, and I looked at the photos after. I'm like, girl, what the fuck? Why didn't you say there's a giant bug on your leg? And she's like, I didn't notice. I'm like, oh my god. It was terrible.
That's something that people either love or hate about me is when I'm really precise in how I want.
It's
people
good
to
though.
look. And most people like it, and then there are some people like, oh, you're doing too much. I'm like, do you want to look good or?
Like, I'll make you look terrible.
You should just be one of those artists. Be like, I'm done with you. Take it all off. Just say we're done.
Just take everything and just walk out and be like,
You're undeserving.
For sure, yeah. But luckily,
Yeah.
I don't have many. Maybe one that I can think of off the top of my head that got annoyed.
Yeah.
The rest are very grateful that I take the time to pose them because cosplayers are not models. They're people with hobbies, right? So they don't know how to pose. They don't know how to be in front of camera. Most of them don't. They just know how to make props. Doesn't mean you know to model.
yeah, they know how to create like the outfits and they like dressing up. Yeah.
It's kind of like my job to make them look as comfortable and as good and as confident as possible in front of the camera. And not many of them are experienced in posing. So that's kind of where I come in. Like, hey, maybe do this, arch your back a bit, turn towards me a bit. Tilt your head, have your hand here with twirling your hair a bit. Just little poses that complements the cosplay and complements their outfit.
And that's something people don't talk about too, where it's like, models, like you really have to know how to position yourself in front of you. Have to know, like, it actually takes experience because, like, even I'm sure people have experienced taking a selfie and you pose and then when you look at the picture you're like, that didn't look like at all what I thought it would. Like, you look terrible. And then you gotta like do all these different
have
positions.
the skill of understanding what their bodies portray.
Exactly. And they know what the good side, like even me, like I've taken so many selfies of my face that like now I know that this is my good side. So when I'm here, I'm always on this side. You guys can't make me sit there because I'll look terrible.
Wow. Good side.
So yeah, this is my good side. This is my bad witch side. And I showed pictures to prove it, by the way, guys. It's a fact. Alex admitted it. All right? Whether or not it's on camera, it is true.
Send them to me. I want to see.
I will show you after. Anyways, so I think we're gonna have to wrap up because we're pretty much at the we might already be at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, I'm 2 hours.
I am sweating out my butt.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It is so hot. It can only do so much, and we're in cosplay, so I really want to change out of this. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm shocked we're still here. We haven't been canceled yet. Let's try to stay that way. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the subscribe, the bell, the thing button. Yeah, do that. The bell. And make sure to follow your Amplifier on Instagram. Make sure to follow Kevin Amplifier on Instagram. We'll put the link and name and everything. He's got great photos, which I will randomly throw in throughout the video, I'm sure. Ha ha ha. Okay, bye guys. Peace out. Okay, we're done. It is.